good morning one more time. Welcome to a brand new month of October. Well, 3 days into the month already. I don't know what you did on the first day, but loads of messages flying around each time when they say it's a happy new month. So happy new month to you. A pretty wet weekend, I must say, but thankfully this morning we've seen some great sunshine. Definitely going to be great outdoors, so you should know how to step out right. At the same time, still be careful because you just might have, portions of muddy places around. But it's all good. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Culture Daily. Welcome to 3 Music TV as well as Plus 89.9 FM as we stream on there for a morning show. It's 7 and the show is just about to begin. It's going to be a very packed show this morning as we have a heavy conversation to have with you. I'm not alone. Of course, I've got a team here with me as well. And let me allow them to say good morning to you. It's a happy new month.
Morning.
Happy new month, Charlie. October.
Yeah.
Happy new
The
month.
year's over, right?
It's
Yes.
How are those
Literally.
resolutions doing?
Well, they
Which-
say if you plan to give birth this year, March was your deadline. So if you went past
Yeah.
March, if
You are 23.
It's sorry for you.
Yeah,
23 parents. Parents of 23.
yes, the graduation is in 23. However, as well, I mean, we're in the month of October. It's the last quarter of the year, and I know we are all looking forward to a big December in Ghana, right? Yeah,
Yes.
like it's going to be active. Like I like the whole fact that also December has now become like a Ghana thing. Like everybody thinks Ghana in December,
Yeah.
and I can just imagine that if we hold on to this mantle like 10 years, you can imagine what's going to happen.
It'll be
Like,
It'll be
huge.
massive.
huge,
The only
massive.
unfortunate thing is the prices that spike in December because I'm like, why? We understand that, I mean, people from the diaspora are here and everything, but prices just boom. And then it never comes back down.
Well, I'm actually told the price of things in especially food items in Accra is costly because a colleague of mine went to this village and he said he got a whole abubuya of plantain for 200 Ghana cedis.
Wow.
Yes,
Possible.
it's possible because
Yeah.
now how to get it to Accra is the
It's
problem.
the biggest
Yeah.
problem.
It's what makes the some of the
True.
prices go high. But I don't know.
True.
200 cedis for a whole abubuya.
It's highly
When
possible.
they're giving you
Yeah.
one finger for 5 CDs, like,
So
it's
the
crazy.
profit margin is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they make it seem like it's not possible.
Plantain is sweet. That's the
No,
problem.
it's
The
just
biggest
crazy.
problem is that plantain they be. So you buy
You
it.
buy it regardless,
Well, we
right?
should be looking at how to transfer the plantain from, where it's grown into various parts of the country so to reduce pricing. But anyway, we're not talking plantain this morning. That's not our focus. There's something. Now, over the weekend, we had so many events, the likes of Lexi the Comic coming in over the studio on Friday to prepare for Too Cute to Be Mute. Guys, did you experience the show? I don't know if anybody...
I experienced a bit of it.
You did?
It was a good thing. It was put together well. The crowd
Yes.
was actually a good turnout. You hear comedy show and you think, but people actually came out, and that tells you that even on this level of Obi Amponsa and Lexi, they're able to muster a good enough show. I mean, he was frank enough to say he had to borrow money to put it together and all that. And I'm
all
really
that,
happy
yes.
that people turned out in the large numbers. Hopefully, he can pay back whoever financed this and
Yeah.
then start looking at it.
and
properly,
talking
yeah.
about, the
I missed
content
out.
over the weekend, I mean, like I saw Funny Face post, repost, re-upload, repost, parts of his performance. And I can tell there's a new spirit in Funny Face.
Yeah.
Let me say good morning to you.
The joy.
The Kaswa Van Damme man himself, Funny Face. You had an amazing performance. And I think he used the chance to also just let off a lot of things that he had been through in a very, with a lot of humor attached to it.
He's been quiet
Which
for
is
a
a good
while
thing.
now. Which I think is a very,
Yeah.
very good thing because
Yeah, I know.
You have to let it out sometimes, right?
So that was Lexi the Comics, Too Cute to Be Mute. Also, shouts to George Quay that pulled off Run for Your Wife with Nashako. Amazing show. I missed out on that one though, but I heard the reviews were just simply amazing. So great shouts to all of you as well. And big shouts going out to KOD's Rhythm on the Runway, the launch as well. I saw
Yeah,
a lot of
that
cars
happened on
parked
Friday.
outside as I drove by. Now, as we're talking all these events, well, the big question is, did corporate Ghana not see any headway, opportunity, or a reason to be part of the creative arts industry as all these people, all these giants are trying to promote, sell our creative arts content globally to the rest of the world? So this morning, we're talking about the relationship between corporate Ghana and the creative arts industry. Guys, I don't know if we can have a pre-starter to this though, but where is the missing element in this? Like,
I think
where is the missing element?
with these conversations, it should start from, does corporate Ghana believe in the creative industry enough
Well,
to want to push money, effort, time into it as a firm support. That should what it should be.
Can I take your question back one step?
Okay.
Do the creatives believe in their creative arts enough to take it as a business and position it in such a way that people will be able to engage with them?
I think creatives believe in their
don't.
craft. You don't think creatives
I
believe
believe
in
that
their craft?
creatives believe in their craft and in expressing their craft and doing the craft itself, but that belief does not transcend into the discipline to establish your art as a business. Because at the end of the day, for anybody to take you seriously as a corporate entity would, you need to have structures. And those structures live outside of your creative capability. So if you are a rapper or a poet or a dancer, that is your core creative ability. But you cannot just go to a corporate company and start dancing that I'm dancing, so sponsor my show. No. You need to take yourself out of that and then build the business framework around you where the corporate people can plug in. And if you ask me by my observation, that's where we've fallen short. A lot of great talent, a lot of great experiences, and because some of us are close to the creatives, we think, oh, this thing they be, why do they not put money for back? But from a marketing manager's desk looking at it, all I see is somebody dancing or somebody singing or somebody rapping. I don't see a business framework around it.
There's so many questions on my neck here that I feel like asking, but because Cyril has got so much in-depth knowledge into this as well. So today he'll be our
resource person
guest this morning. But yeah, we'll talking to our honorable
marketing manager.
Honorable marketing manager.
Cyril Goke.
There clearly is. Yes.
When they add honorable, then GRA will be looking at you now.
There sure is a missing element somewhere. We want to understand this, so we'll be taking a deep dive into this conversation. Fortunately, we'll have a special guest join us on the show, and someone who's had also knowledge in this, who's played a role in corporate Ghana as well as a creative space. So he joins us. I'll tell you his name later on the show. But still to come, there's more. Now, what are we looking at this morning on Unpacking?
So Molly came by on Friday, and I had a really great conversation with her. So we are going to be looking at that. Molly.
Oh, I thought you said Molly, so I was thinking.
No, not Molly. No. Molly.
Yeah. Okay.
Hers is Molliy. Yeah. So she came by. We're going to be talking about that, and then
because
also
Kofi Molly was in Bibiani or somewhere. He was playing.
Yeah,
the show.
he was performing throughout the weekend. No.
How he was able to move.
Yes.
No, but they have their ways. So these artists, they have their
all
ways.
night travels and stuff.
They do. They have their ways. And then also we'll look at, some political happenings that have gone on over the weekend as well. I'll talk about that in Trending Live. There's so many things that have been trending over the weekend as well. So we'll just touch on all of that later in the show.
All right. Well, Cyril, I don't know your side though, but I mean the only person's name which kept on popping up on my Twitter timeline was Erling Haaland. I hope I had the name right.
You have the name right.
Manchester City.
Well, are you a Man U fan?
No.
Yeah, I'm a Man U fan.
Okay.
But Haaland plays for City.
For City.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know, but it's how he responded to your question. He was
Even
very...
if you
It's
do,
like
I'll
a
mention
pain.
his name on the Sports Direct.
Wow.
Haaland now.
Pains.
Oh, it's paining me. Why won't it pain me?
The guy seems to be, I don't know if people are making comparison. I've seen Ronaldo photos
He's too efficient.
pop up, and then I see his photos pop up, and I'm just wondering what was going on. I mean, I don't follow too much sports, but I felt like, is he at par with Ronaldo? or what?
No, he's doing for City what everybody thought Ronaldo would do for United. That's it, yeah.
Right.
His goal average is crazy, his finishing is crazy, and Ronaldo seems to be a shiny ornament on our dear team who is not bringing any value.
But
we'll
is he
get
as
into that.
experienced?
No, he's a kid.
Oh.
So what? Ronaldo is not scoring any more goals?
I don't want to talk about it.
Wow. The heartbreak.
Let's move on.
The heartbreak.
Oh, let us move on now. Why? Why? Because for 5 minutes on United, we get it.
hold on.
We are suffering.
Did United play over the weekend?
Yeah, they did. Man
So,
City.
song of the day. Let's.
Yeah, they played.
what
they
is-
played City
they
yesterday,
lost.
and they lost.
On that note,
Lenny.
we just can't wait for
Yeah.
Sports Direct.
Lenny, Jay,
Yes.
song of the day.
Well, if you're listening to us via Plus FM, he just threatened us. But if you're live on TV, we've got evidence to it. But anyway, let's jump into Song of the Day. When we come back, it is going to be very exciting right here on the show. very spirit-filled morning with Joe Mettl's song Yo Boami, and the lyrics on the song there just gives me so much hope. Reason for us to be very, very to live a Christ-like life.
Yeah.
You know, every day. And I know the looks you're giving me, and it sounds like no. There's that side of me. There's that side of me. Don't do that. Don't do that. There's that side.
Is there that side?
Please
bring it out
to those
now.
who are live on Plus
I
FM,
want to see.
I want to
sure.
describe what's happening in the studio. Like, you know, they are all staring at me as if there's no other side of my life where
I've sat in your car. You never played this song.
no, this song. No, Joe Mettle himself.
Oh,
the relationship between Joe Mettle and myself. You know, it's a very
It's not MP3.
respected relationship,
So you
and then the
play at
song
home.
also has that effect on me. You know,
Oh, so you
like-
play at home. I just want to understand.
Yes, I play the song all the
In
time.
the house,
Yeah,
okay.
Yo Boami. And I know it's won so many awards and nominations across. We'll get into the trivia, but guys, like, I'm serious.
We
serious.
believe you. Cyril,
Please
don't we
believe
believe
me.
him?
You know. Let me say good morning. Good morning to you, Coca. Coca, I know you're doing the watching now. Thank you so much as well. But I mean, Cyril and Lenny, stop this.
I believe you.
I'm
I don't
going
know about
home.
Cyril,
I'm
but
going home.
I really believe you. No,
you guys
don't
have hurt
go.
my.
Your feelings. We are sorry.
No problem. I believe you. For the purposes of TV, I believe you.
I do too.
No, anyway, this song made massive waves when it was released. Let's go check out the song's trivia coming up next on your screens. As opposed to secular
Yes.
musicians,
Yes.
you know, and because I'm watching the video and you can see clearly in that we're just arguing amongst ourselves in the video of the song. For those who watch on Plus FM, it's live on our Facebook page. You can go watch it on 3 Music. Well, this song was clearly shot in. You can tell it's a residence of a wealthy
affluent person.
Yeah.
Affluent person,
Money go
you know.
inside.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's a pastor's house. I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know. It resonates with somebody who's a pastor and how he or she
Really?
was said. Because some churches, look, I've been to some churches in Accra here, and they've been put up so beautiful, like the architecture.
Like there's no compromise for God. When it comes to God, there's no compromise.
Yes, there's no compromise, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. So this song has done so well, if you ask me. And yeah, clearly I think some gospel artists, but it might be a debate for another time. Gospel artists might receive a bit more support from philanthropists, you know, for the purpose of what they're doing, than secular artists and other people in the creative arts industry. I hardly would see
That's true.
You know, corporate Ghana step into want to throw their weight behind you know, some new fresh talent, you know, who's doing R&B, or for top artists like Sarkodie Stonebwoy. I mean, they've experienced corporate Ghana coming into. I mean, Sarkodie have experienced what Standard Chartered, Samsung. I mean, for you to wake up on you turn a Samsung phone on, and
your image is there.
Your image is there. That's a very big. That's a big deal.
Stonebwoy had
That's a big
techno.
deal. Yeah.
You know, Shatta has had some Storm energy drink and Kasapreku products. Kiddies enjoyed KFC,
Fidelity Bank.
That's
And
a cash
Samsung as well.
Manifest on,
Kiddies on Samsung as well.
Absa.
Yeah, ABSA. So are we saying that corporate Ghana is not supporting the industry that much? or it's limited to a certain
Corporate Ghana
particular
supports you when
area?
you're at
Maybe
your
the
apex.
personality.
Everybody we've mentioned
Yeah.
now is at their apex.
Yeah.
Kiddy, Sarkodie,
What are you saying about us?
No, maybe they support the personalities and not the industry.
Yes,
Yeah.
when the personality is at their apex, then they are confident in that personality. So supporting a Sarkodie does not necessarily mean supporting rap from Ghana.
Or supporting Rapaholic.
Yeah. You're
I
supporting
mean,
Sarkodie.
just imagine that if a corporate body, maybe one of the banks, decided to set up a theater, a huge theater just to support the creative arts in terms of performances and theaters and all. I mean, they would definitely make their money back.
Yes.
You clearly see what is happening to the Grand Arena, I know, but I mean, Grand Arena is a tent for crying out loud, and it's just a support from an industry person for the industry. But we are talking corporate Ghana stepping in and building, securing land, as equal as the size of the theater, of the cathedral, and building,
Like a creative
an
village.
entertainment center or something.
Yeah.
Yes, just for it. But I keep saying that the cathedral, just watch us. We'll book the place for John.
For sure.
No, that edifice, man, is huge.
Yeah, it is huge.
It's
It is huge. It is huge. Anyways, so now coming from our trivia, let's get ready to get some more motivation with our starter pack coming up next. Brother Kojo Q. I haven't heard much of him in recent times, but
He's
he's one of my
enjoying his married
favorite.
life.
Yeah, ever since he
Oh,
got
he's married?
Yeah, he's married
Oh,
since.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
we are waiting on you. It's 7:30 now.
Ashok
It's today. Today is 4th October.
Oh yes, shots
men-
fired there.
These men,
Boom,
but it's
boom, boom,
fine.
boom.
At the right time. I believe one thing. Timing is everything. God's time is the best. And I'm patient enough.
You have turned
to
down all
wait.
the men. How do you want? God has given you so many.
Charlie, the links
handsome
we
men.
throw you.
Eh?
I'm even tired.
Wow.
I won't WhatsApp you in the profiles
Lies.
again.
Lies.
Oh.
But anyway, no,
Do you
I would
admit
really
that-
consider if
Do
you
before
send
we
me
jump
some
into
profiles.
Kojo Q's lyrics, which is a massive inspiration, do you agree that you have been at the fault for reasons?
papa brepe sika onya ahonya de oje wo papa na we
are butchering it.
Hold on. Daily and search. That should be ama me babies if we say my puppy for take the blame be. Me shesha moon. Hey,
it be my puppy way.
Look.
You see the way you butchered it.
Listen, the tree
but that's the genius of Kojoki, right?
Seen.
Yes.
His tree is very rich,
Yeah.
but when he raps it out, you get the story.
Yeah.
And that's how Obrafour kind of, Obrafour's grammar tree, you can't read it.
Yeah.
But when Obrafour is delivering it, the story comes out clear.
No, this one.
But it's just like what Jay translated. It's about legacy. I don't think it's a blame thing, but these are the hard conversations that we don't like having. When we have these conversations, Lenny, Jay, Cyril will make sure that we are not those bad dads.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that we don't become those poor dads and moms. Because let's be real, look around anywhere in the world. The kids who have the best life, the best opportunities, and sail through, quote unquote, are living off a legacy, which was somebody else's sacrifices, initiative, and toil.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of parents didn't do that. Let's be real. A lot of parents got caught up on the treadmill. So there's something about treadmill in the rap there. A lot of parents got caught up on the treadmill of surviving. Rent, school fees, food, health. Rent, school fees, food, health. So when do they go off to start building an empire? And a lot of parents just didn't have the opportunity or even the know-how.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault. Today, at our age, we can look at it like, why am I popping no buy land for Cantonment? Why am I popping no buy land for Laboni? Yeah. But the time other people were buying land at Laboni, your dad was paying your school fees, and for him, that was his height of achievement.
That was his priority.
That was his priority. He was happy that me the fees in the school. You understand? But today you look and be like, Charlie, like my papi buy one plot for Cantonment, several Labana, we all
get house.
It's in retrospect. They say hindsight is 20/20. When you look in the past, you see everything clearly. But in the moment, that vision is not always clear. And he needs to tell the story for us to wake up.
Now, to top up what Cyril said, there's this thing I say that nobody owes you anything. You owe yourself everything, right? And so if your parents couldn't do it for you, you should be able to do it for yourself. I mean, instead of, pushing blame and having reason not to be successful yourself, right? You may not come out of a rich family, but a rich family can come from you. So it has to do with you rather than pushing blame. Just, focus and push and push. It gets better.
My problem with that thinking is that then nobody's to blame. Nobody's accountable, because if we fail now, and that's the philosophy that we don't owe anybody anything, our kids can't blame us, and that gives them the liberty to also fail.
No, you don't. Nobody owes you anything. That's just to say that you can't hold your parents to not buying land or doing that. Like you said, they didn't do all of those things because they had other priorities. Exactly. Yeah. So for you, I mean, as a parent, it's when you grow that you realize that our parents really tried. Because me, I don't have kids yet, but I'm like, how were our parents able to afford things for us that you don't have need of anything? They are there for you. You're able to.
No, they try.
Things that came to my mind when you just said that, but I just hold my
Please hold it.
Please don't hold it.
Pause.
Don't hold it.
No, it's a necessary conversation, and I like that he used music as the medium. So we can all listen to it without it being so offensive. Because in our culture, you can't even have this conversation with anybody. Where Jay goes sit there, they talk crap about his parents. That's how they'll coin it. You understand? Where Lenny go, they talk crap about his parents. No, that's not the That's not the idea. The idea is not to belittle or be disrespectful. The idea is to understand which opportunities were missed, so that we can capitalize on them now, so that tomorrow our kids don't have the same song.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very sure opinions matter. If it fell on your laps as well, you tell us so many things about whether our parents are to blame for who we are, who we've become, But anyway, your opinions are welcome via our social media platforms on 3 Music on Facebook or +899 FM on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or tweet at us as well on 3 Music Networks on Twitter. But anyways, well, that even gave me a little funny something that I remembered when you were talking. I remember when I was I've got 2 kids, so when I was having the second one, my first daughter looks at me on a video call and says to me that, Dad, I'm so sorry I didn't tell you that Mom was pregnant. I'm so sorry. I'm still ahead. I'm like, okay. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah. No, she's got your back.
Yes, like she has my back. Like, I'm so sorry I didn't.
She has your back.
That's actually really funny.
Yes, like, yeah, thanks for the reminder. But anyways, more things to remind you of things that happened in the past 24 hours. Shouts to Kojo Q as well for this one. But let's hear from him as well, what he has to say about this particular song and the lyrics.
Rich Dad Poor Dad is a song about generational thinking, just thinking about planting trees that you won't get to even sit under. I built it around a father-son relationship and money because it's sort of easier to understand that way, and that's also the basic family unit. But for me, it can apply to anything. It can apply to even us as a country, us being here right now and having to do stuff that people 100 years from now are going to be affected by, either benefit or they're going to lose. So for me, the song that's what it's about, generational thinking, just thinking beyond right now and thinking for the future, and just moving and making sure that anything that you do, you take the people that come after us into account, so that they also benefit and they don't suffer too much from like your sins. So like in the third verse, I start the third verse by saying, I feel like my father doubled the sins of his father, and I'm the one here shouldering all the karma. You understand? So I feel like all the stuff that my granddad did wrong, because my dad wasn't intentional, he picked that up and then he passed it on, plus his own, his own trauma, his sins. And I am the one that has to shoulder that. And since I am aware of that, now I have to move in such a way that I do not pass it on to the next generation. Yeah, so that's just what the song is about. Just thinking beyond now, thinking for the future, and making sure that everything that you do today, the people that come after you tomorrow will get to benefit. They can stand on that and then reach higher heights.
Few seconds ago, that one of the finest rappers that we have, and by all standards, this guy, Flo Kingston. I mean, if I was to mention top 5 rappers that I'll put at the forefront, aside the mainstream ones, that if we're a football match or a rap game with another country, I'll take a Kojo Q, I'll take a Killmatic, but he's no more anymore.
Yeah.
I'll take a Lil Shaker. Yeah, I'll take a Lil Shaker. I'll take a
Flokin.
I mentioned Flokin. I'll take a Guru.
You're mentioning some names.
Guru is there already, so I don't want to add.
We need to get into this.
Because
Sure.
I think 2 or 3 of the names that you mentioned, who are really holding it up now, are no longer.
Are no more.
Is it because of the genre?
It's because of the acceptance of the genre. The genre is fine.
Yeah.
Because we listen to rap. We stream Drake.
No, that's what I mean.
Cole.
Like the genre in Ghana.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That funny enough, we listen to foreign rap. We stream tons of foreign rap.
Yeah.
Except when it's from Achimota, then ew.
I mean, like if you hear an EL of the commercial EL that we all know, like you have no idea the kind of talent that guy holds in his head with lyrical dexterity. Like EL is crazy.
Yeah. I think there's something about the squad. EL, Kojo Q, Lil Shaker.
7.
There's something about
7
that.
was more beat, right?
Yeah,
7 was more production. Yeah.
But still, 7, Kwamwan, even Juice. People don't know Juice started out with hip hop.
Yes.
There's this other guy who's a producer. He's a Spintex. I forget his name.
Who?
He's a Spintex. He raps too. He's really tall.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Ball J.
Yeah,
Ball J.
Shouts to Ball J. I mean,
Ball J has held it down.
Crane, shouts to you, Chimney Crane. So I mean, like these are all boys.
Tell rappers there, Ghana, by the shovel load.
Yes, and there are loads of them that we have to really shift our attention to and see how best, we can develop interest, create consumer interest for their craft.
And shout outs to Bless the Mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless the Mic
Bless
has
the Mic
paid its
did a
dues
lot.
and tried its best
Yeah.
to uplift
PY.
rappers. And Charlie, shout out to Bless the Mic.
Yeah. Well, PY Ado Watson, good morning going out to you. Cyril is giving you that shout out as well. But
Charlie,
anyway,
collect your flowers, bro. You know, speaking of flowers and rap,
yeah.
so Coolio's online shop crashed when he died because everybody went there to
Wanted
go and
to
buy
get
his
merch.
stuff.
when he was alive.
When he
yeah.
was alive, nobody. Like this,
Yeah,
like
that's-
we've lost it, right, as a society.
It's crazy.
When Coolio was alive, everybody was Coolio, and then the guy dies, and within 72 hours of the death,
I mean, no, see, they come take your men.
no
You know
problem.
that happens with
Yeah.
numbers on social as well.
Yeah.
Once the person passes,
What is
then
wrong
the
with
number
us?
starts to spike. I'm like, the person is
Oh.
dead.
When
Let's
R.
give
Kelly
people
was
their flowers
arrested,
when they can
The
sell them,
numbers start
Charlie.
to
his streams
What's
went
happening?
up, you know.
Streams, everything.
Yeah, his streams went
What's
up. when he was
Everything.
arrested,
Coolio,
yes.
Coolio was basically what he lost. He left us on Thursday night or something, right? So Friday till this morning, everything Coolio spiked. His streams, his YouTube videos, his merch in the shop, everything. People were now rushing to go and get a piece of the Coolio experience when we've lost him. Same for DMX.
Which is crazy. And even his song, The Gangster's Paradise,
Nice, yeah.
as at Friday, it had about 50 billion or so
Look at that.
views on YouTube.
We've gone nuts.
That's a lot. Billions.
Well,
yeah.
we've definitely been spending most of our lives living in that gangster's paradise. But anyway, it was a massive, not a gangster's paradise in Ghana or in Accra here. It was a massive celebration of creative arts in the capital city, ACCRA to be precise, with loads of things happening. Lenny's got that for us in Unpacking coming up next. You're welcome to Unpacking
for today. Now I'm starting my stories with Burna Boy. Burna Boy's Last Last. Do you know how much that song has made? And to think that it was a heartbreak song, you know, someone was just sitting down thinking about his broken heart, thinking about, you know, how to pour out his broken heart through a song. And then it has just, you know, hit and made so many numbers. Burna Boy in this interview spoke about the numbers from Last Last. Let's watch this.
Until I drop something else.
Wait, what's the sound? What's the sound?
Hey,
What? No, you can't.
yeah, seeing is believing, you know that.
I hear you. See, when you recorded Last, did you know it was gonna be like? Did you have that feeling in the studio that it was gonna do what it's doing right now?
To be honest, man, I never really make tunes with that mindset of, oh, I want to make a hit or I want to make, you know what I mean? It's all about the feelings and the situation and like, you get me, the inspiration behind it.
Yeah.
You understand? It's never really about what I want the song to do. You get me? So it's one of them ones where it's like, it's nature, man.
Facts.
You know?
Organic.
Yeah, people relate to what they relate to at the end of the day, you know?
You dropped that information on $1 million worth of game about Tony Braxton and the 60%, and everyone was chatting about it. But is that something normal in the industry, that amount of royalties?
It's very normal, but it's like, maybe it's even misunderstood. It's not like she gets 60% of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And to be fair to her, it's like she don't even really get nothing.
Okay.
You understand? It's really like people who like taking over her stuff from ages ago.
I feel you.
You get me? But at the end of the day, it's like when I say 60%, it's not 60% of the whole thing. It's just a one little part.
Okay, so people are running with that little sound bite right
but
there.
at the end of the day, it's all good, you get me? It's not their pocket.
Facts.
Nothing like that.
And the song's legendary, man. Like, some people
Trust
take
me.
samples and they don't flip it and do it justice,
man.
but you
I've
did
actually
that.
made more money from that song than any other song in my whole career.
Are you serious?
Burna Boy himself. Now that brings me to this 60% conversation. People are like, the sampling he did, was it really necessary? Do you even hear it in this last song? Is it like an integral part of this particular song? Because he could have just gone ahead and done it. But then again, others are like, oh, Burna Boy is so big on sampling people's songs, right? That even when he doesn't have to, he does. But anyway, you've heard the numbers and you have contributed to the numbers as well. Now, one person I want us to contribute to in relation to her art and her craft is Molly. Molly came by the studios on Friday and we had a very great conversation. She, in this interview, speaks about her fears. So let's go watch this. Songs so far stand out to you?
To me?
Which one and why?
I would say out of my release records, what stands out is 9 to 5. Just because
I was going to ask you about 9 to 5. No, because like when I listened to 9 to 5, I could just relate to it. But you continue, I'll still ask you.
That's the thing, like a lot of people can relate to it, and it was just like basically me ranting about like life, and I just don't want to work for anybody, like, but I still want to make bread, like I want to just own my place, find my place, own it, and not let anybody or anyone stop me. So it's just so much energy into that song that needed to be like released.
And you feel it.
Yeah.
You feel it.
Completely for the Ghana market. It is, but it's also not, because my inspirations come from all over, not just here. But you know, I'm not gonna let that intimidate me or stop me. I feel like at some point they're going to have to accept me. You know, I don't give up easy. So
What's the especially in Ghana as an artist? In relation to your music.
In relation to my music, the most difficult thing was like overcoming, you know, doubts, overcoming fears, because people will literally like put their limitations onto you, and if you let it rub off, it will stick with you. So like somebody would say like, listen, Molly, like the type of music you're making here, like it's not going to sell, it's not going to do. And to me, I'm just like, okay, maybe right now no one has done it. Maybe people are waiting for someone to do it. So to let those things like rub off my shoulders and keep like persevering. That was like one of the hardest things. But now that I was able to do that, I just feel like nothing really can really can change my mind right now.
I get that. Nine to 5 song. If you haven't listened to 9 to 5, please do listen to it. And the line that sticks out to me from 9 to 5 is hustle now, don't work for free. I'm really big on that. Don't work for free, please, in caps and italicized, okay? She has a new EP coming up, which is titled Honey Doom, and so you look out for that. Now, this girl is so talented. You heard her talk about her genre of music and the type of music that she does, and her sound is so pure. I mentioned to her that she's very ethereal. She's unique. Like, you hear the voice and you're like, okay, this is something good. This is good music and from a great talent. And I agree with her. I think with time, she will grow on people, and people will accept her for who and what she does. Now, Trevor Noah is my next story. So, Trevor Noah is wrapping up on his show. The Daily Show, who Trevor Noah was on it for about 7 years, and he's wrapping up on it. Now, he made this announcement last week, which, I mean, if you read the comments, man, people are heartbroken, people are happy that he's moving on. Now, he says that he's moving on to learn new languages and also to explore more. We have a video to it. Let's go and watch. All right, so you heard it from Trevor Noah himself. Now, after this announcement over the weekend, Trevor went ahead to sell 2 shows in Canada. And from the pictures, now I'm looking forward to more shows. Would Trevor come to Ghana ever and hold a comedy show? Well, I'm looking forward to that, okay? All right, I'm also looking forward to seeing and reading your comments on our socials. Find us at 3 Music Networks on Instagram and Twitter, 3 Music on Facebook, 3 Music Lifestyle on TikTok, and 3 Music Live on Snapchat, as well as +899 on Facebook and +899 FM on Twitter and Instagram. My name, Lady Lamote, and this has been Unpacking. I'm going to throw it over to Cyril and Jay.
Well, thank you very much, Lenny, for that news on Unpacking. But anyway, news coming in, we're still yet to confirm, but news coming in is the passing on of Echo Blankson, Ghanaian actor Echo Blankson. We can't really fully confirm this, but news trickling in so far. I mean, I'm just saying this is not true. But
that's the Ghana Web boss.
Ghana Web.
I mean, he works at Ghana Web, yes.
Yes.
Yes, this is really sad news. Like, I can't.
Wait! I'm shaking.
Calm down, Lenny.
No, hold on.
All right, we'll take the camera off you then. Take it easy. I know this is quite surprising. This is the information we are picking up as well. But we'll also still wait to hear and finally confirm this before the end of the show. But we are partially true that this is what it is. Wow, Cyril, this is quite...
Yeah, as much as you don't want to believe certain things, I mean, how many times do we hear people are dead and is the truth?
Yeah,
I don't think someone would just put it out there like that. And
they say death happens every single moment. But it's when the person is closest to you. It depends on how close it is to you. But that's just news coming in. We'll give you more updates on that story later on in the show as you're watching. You're still locked on, I beg your pardon, on Culture Daily right here. I know Cyril, I put you in a certain mood, but I knew I'll get you a snap out of it because we're coming up next. We'll be into sports very soon as well. We'll take a quick breather. But what are we looking at in the world of sports?
So we have the Manchester City United, the derby and the outcome. We have some physical...
Why are you rushing over that story so quickly?
Yeah, it's not necessary, sorry. And then we have some abuse allegations and investigations from one of the top players. And then some other stuff that we'll get into.
Well, definitely some other stuff we'll get into on the show. Sports coming up next. Don't go away.
people? It's your boy C-Real. Sports Direct still on Culture Daily. Now, it seems we've just had a football-filled weekend. Football, good news, bad news, exciting, and some regretful stuff. Now, let me kick off with the bad news. Manchester United ace star Cristiano Ronaldo is in the press for the wrong reasons. Now take your mind back to a match between United and Everton sometime in April, where things didn't go as planned. Well, on the way out, Ronaldo got into a physical altercation with an autistic little boy. Now I don't think he knew the boy was autistic, but somewhere in his rage for how the match went, he hit the boy's hand trying to get his phone out of his hand. Well, that incident did not go unmarked. FIFA took up the incident and there have been investigations since April till now, where Ronaldo has been officially given the deadline of 10th October to respond to the allegations and the incident as a whole. Now, we have the likes of Eric Cantona in the past who jump-kicked a football fan who was, talking the wrong things at the sideline. We've had Patrice Evra with this famous side kick to one of his own fans. Now, what do you think about football stars losing their temper based on how the game goes and taking that out negatively on fans and even their own co-players? Now, I don't think FIFA endorses it, and we don't endorse this in Ghana, even at the GFA level. So for someone like Cristiano Ronaldo to do this to a little boy, I think it really needs the spotlight that it's getting. And I'm hoping that his response by the 10th will be something positive to impact the game at large and help curb this violent streak that we see players fall into when the 90-minute game doesn't go their way. Now, on a good note, Gabriel Orchidako, government bigwig and political, political godfather here in Ghana, was spotted watching the Arsenal match as Thomas Partey delivered stunning goal to kick off the scoring just this weekend. Now, I don't know exactly what reason he was there, whether it was just for the Arsenal match or whether it was part of a follow-up to check on Thomas Partey, especially following up with his injury situation and the healing that we reported on last week. Now, the issue here is that we already know that Gabriel Orchidako is a big Arsenal fan, but having him there with the Ghanaian star performing speaks loads to Ghanaian football, our capability on the pitch, and the love and the extent to which we'll go out to support each other. Now we have the likes of Sami Enim also there, so it was a whole full house as they cheered on the Ghanaian Partey after Partey as he delivered. Now to my last story, which I'm sure Jay is going to have a laugh and a field day with. Manchester United is still not doing well. Now to the point, let me take you back. Remember when we were kids and you're playing the ball and it's not going your way, what do? You pick up your ball and go home because you don't want to take the embarrassment. Well, unfortunately for Manchester United, the Manchester Derby, they couldn't pick the ball and go home. But the fans did not wait 90 minutes for the embarrassment, as the game started off with the likes of Erling Haaland scoring and setting the pace for what was a 2-0 lead against Manchester United. Even early into the first half, we had United fans in their striking red jerseys seen by the CCTV and by the reporters and paparazzi fleeing the stadium. They were not leaving one at a time. No, they were leaving in droves. And for a football player to see his fan base leaving while the match is ongoing somewhere in the first half, I mean, it's demoralizing. And that didn't go to say much about the outcome of the game, where ultimately Manchester United lost. Now, Jay, what are your thoughts on this? Manchester United has all the names. On paper, it's a wonderful team. Why do you think we keep suffering?
Well, don't say why do we think we
Yeah,
keep...
I'm owning it. So
why do I think you keep suffering? and I'll tell you what, I think that personally, not speaking from a technical point of view, I think the team itself needs a major reshuffling, you know, and football is times and seasons, you know, and I think that it's just one of those moments when there's so much pressure on a striker like Ronaldo, you know, to deliver, and probably I think there's no cohesion with the players.
But I really don't think Ciro has actually delivered. I mean, being the GOAT that people say he is, and following the little I follow on football and listening to what my football fanatic friends have to say when it comes to Man U, I don't think that he's really delivered. I don't
He's
think
not. Lenny, you're absolutely right.
expectations because
Don't mind Cyril.
it's
The first
been-
day, Ronaldo's first game when he joined United and he delivered his first goal, they were excited.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then
look at them
after
now.
that, I know. But
Look
after
at me
that,
now.
Look at me now.
What
pen and
consistency.
paper.
We need consistency in United.
There's none of that when it comes to Ronaldo. And I think it's heartbreaking for the Man United fans as well. Because they
Speaking
were
of
expecting
Ronaldo,
so
Lenny,
much.
what do you think about the altercation with the little boy? You know, being so pissed at a game that, you know, you hit the phone from a little boy's hand,
Yeah.
only to find out the kid was autistic in the first place. You know, that's like one loss to another.
It's rather unfortunate how things when people actually really dragged him when that incident happened. It's really unfortunate, especially because it's a child, right? I mean, you could have done that to an adult and then you can go head to head, man to man, right? But to do that to a child who only just, wants to take a picture of you or probably idolizes you. For me, that will leave a dent on that child for a really, really long time.
Look, let's be
For
very
a
fair
really
with
long
Ronaldo
time.
here. You know, sometimes we are human. Let's not forget Ronaldo's not a god. We are human.
We are human.
And you, as rightly read on his page with the apology, I mean, sometimes it gets to you. Look at how
It does.
Cyril
It does.
is clad in all black this morning. You know, like this is his emotions. In his subconscious, it's working on him against the loss to City. So you can imagine. I mean, for the person who played the game himself, even Cyril didn't play the game. Look at him.
And
now.
I think it's
Producer,
even
can you
weighing
please
on
turn off
him.
the police mic?
It's even weighing on him because I think that he also knows the expectations that people have put on him. He knows what people want from him. When he was signing, the whole fast, the whole celebration.
Look, let's bring this real. Just take a bit of your time. Let's just be real with even the kids who come and beg by your cars. You know, sometimes you just end up, because you're having a bad day, you end up screaming at them. You know, and this is a typical example of how you express yourself sometimes when you're just not in the mood for certain things. So you can't blame.
No, but you see, you need the
Ronaldo.
professional
But that's
etiquette.
different.
I'm just saying that forget about the autistic patient. The thing is, Ronaldo was dealing with somebody who stretched out his phone, and for whatever moment that he was in at that minute, he just wasn't ready for that. And I'm just saying that break it down to a simple thing like a kid walking to your car and begging for money. You are so angry because your lights have been off for
Those
2
kids
days
are
and you can't.
rude.
Yes,
Jay,
no.
they are so rude.
We can't
There's
say
a
they are
difference.
kids. They are kids.
They are
Look,
rude. See,
yes, but
guys,
they are kids.
See, because those children, when
Yes.
you give them coins,
So you see
they
your
can
reaction.
throw it back at you. Wait,
So
Jay,
you see your reaction.
Guys,
so
you are
equally,
both
children,
right.
they
So
can throw your coins
I mean, it's
back
sports
at
time.
you.
Though.
Lenny,
Yes.
both
Yes,
of you are
see.
right. But I think for someone like Ronaldo, we expect a little bit more of a professional etiquette. What Jay is saying is true. We all have bad days and we
We
kind
do.
of blow up
We
every
do.
now and then. But when you are somebody like Ciro, you need to have that extra
see
filter.
Cyril saying Cyril.
Zero.
Okay, please give me back my sports show now, guys.
You can have it.
Viewers, we're still on Sports Direct. While Arsenal was having a party after party, the Red Devils were going through hell. Cyril on Sports Direct. Let me throw it back to Jay and Lenny finally while we move on with the show. This is still Culture Daily.
Well, that goal from Thomas Partey is what we need back in Ghana here. Like, we
Yes.
need that goal here, not
He should
in
deliver.
Arsenal. Like, we need that goal here. And how come that when it was Ghana against Brazil, he was hurt and was not available? I mean, these are the things we need to investigate.
To
you
look
know.
at,
We
right?
have to look at that. I don't get it. We have to look at that. But anyway, thank you so much, Cyril, giving us Sports Direct. Massive one there. Still to come more on the show. We're going to be talking about Trending Live. What are we looking at on Trending Live this morning, though?
So on Trending Live, I'm going to be talking about ECG. Now, ECG has given people a lot of
Heart attack.
Listen, because how is it that it's not that you don't even have the money to pay? You
Yes.
actually have the money to pay, but the systems are down.
Yeah.
Right? And then when the systems get back up, on Saturday, they said they were going to open on Saturday and Sunday. And the number of people, like they have like vendor points and all of that. These vendor points, the system is not good to the extent that these vendor points can give you power if you want to buy it. And so what happens is you have to go to the main. So for those in and around Dome, Achimota, all of those places, you have to go to Dome. They have a branch in Dome. That's where you have to get the power. And the queue.
Crazy.
My goodness, it's crazy. And then I'm going to be talking about our own Baba Sadiq as well versus Hobson Adoye. And then, lastly, Nigeria 1062 over the weekend. So I'll touch on that.
Well, we just can't wait for that Nigeria at 62
62,
story.
yeah.
But I mean, also, Shatawale passed a few comments with regards to the Ghana industry and with respect to Nigeria. And the tweets and the comments on there were hilarious.
crazy.
I beg your pardon. But anyway,
Crazy.
real quick, let me say good morning to Ishmael Inkum. Says he's watching live. To you, Nana Kojo says, you break my heart with the news of the actor. I hope it isn't true. Almost confirmed.
I
think
hope so
it
too.
is.
I hope so too.
Kwame
Because
Dalali says, good morning. Keep doing what you do. Best have a blessed week. Thank you very much. Portia says, keep up the good work, but always remember, you're my crush. I'm your crush. You're my crush too, girl. Thank you very much.
wow,
Well,
Jay.
yes, more crushes.
And I'm
live.
just saying, I'm not your crush.
I will come to that
When?
soon.
Hey,
Soon
my
and
God.
very soon.
We are
Anyway,
going.
Lenny is up next with our trending live. Don't go away.
On Trending Live today, I'm bringing you 3 stories I already mentioned. Now, ECG over the past week or so has had so many issues in relation to power distribution, okay? And it's been really frustrating for people if you have been able to acquire money that you want to buy power and then there's no power because of no fault of yours. It has been really frustrating. People have gone on social media to vent their spleens. Listen, over the weekend they said, okay, the systems are back up, we can now distribute power. But even with that, there was so much pressure because of the number of people that wanted to buy power. And I mentioned earlier that, you know, the vending points couldn't properly distribute power because the systems were not up and strong enough for them to do that. And so you have to actually walk into a branch of ECG, an actual branch, before you get power. So I mentioned that people vented their spleens, and on socials we have it here, as you can see. Now, Sika Kofi says, if ECG Ghana cannot sell credit to us because of problems with the purchasing system, why not just credit it to our meter so that we can pay back when the system is fixed? Why we forbid darkness inside like this now, with crying emojis? And then also a lot of other people have things to say. Now, Kojo Sheldon did a whole video on this as well. It's been crazy. If I tell you that it's been crazy, listen, it has been really, really crazy. This is an example of what I was saying, the pressure on ECG. Peace Adeze says, ECG, what's happening? Since morning, I can't even buy prepaid. Monopoly in Ghana is not good. If ECG had a competitor, they will sit up. Go see how reluctant they are in solving the issue. 3 days. Ordinary Ghanaians have money, yet cannot purchase electricity to run their homes and businesses. I repeat, monopoly in Ghana isn't good. And this is 3 days because she tweeted it on September 29th. Now, looking back, it's just been almost a week now, like I mentioned, and not to have power for almost a week. Can you imagine what that is going to do? You can't iron, you can't even cook because some people use electricity, you can't shower because some people use heating systems. All of that is very crippling. You can't even watch TV, so you can't watch us, right? It's rather unfortunate. But anyway, I'm reading my last one from Ahmed Musa that says, ECG, you should not underestimate the smart people of Ghana. I can tell you for a fact that people who can buy prepaid and have big cold stores have started to connect their light direct from the electricity poles. And this is another thing that I should touch on, because then you know that a few weeks ago they came to say if you are doing illegal and all of that, you should stop. And then now I read a tweet that one of the girls said, oh, they are offering to, you know, just connect people to power for the time being, which is very sad, People are angry. But hopefully this week things are done better, okay? I'm going to move on to Nigeria. Nigeria celebrated their 62nd on Saturday, which is 1st of October. And I mean, we saw most of the Nigerian celebrities, you know, flaunt their white and green, you know, in celebration of their 62nd, but not everybody is happy. Now, Peter Obi, who is a candidate, he's running for presidency. It's called Obedient. Well, his squad, you know how, you know, you have a fan base. Okay, so these people are called Obedient, and instead of doing the usual 62nd or the usual independence celebration, what we saw was that thousands of Nigerians took to the street in celebration of Peter Obi. Okay, and the stadium was empty. Now you can see from this video what exactly I'm talking about. The stadium was empty because they took to the streets. People want change. People want things to change, and this is how bad they want it to change. Everywhere was packed across the different states in Nigeria. And so, yes, this is it from Nigeria, and belated 62nd to Nigeria. I mean, they're in the 62nd year. I saw DKB put up that 62 years is actually 2 years after retirement. How are they feeling? And what will we say as Ghanaians? But anyway, congratulations to them on hitting their 62nd independence anniversary. On to my last story, I'm going to be talking about the GC Festival. That is the Global Citizen Festival. You know, at the festival, right? it was unfortunate that the first gentleman of the land was booed, and it has sparked a lot of conversation over the 2 weeks. Well, we're in the second week actually. So over the 2 weeks that the GC festival was held, it's been such a big deal. Everybody has said whatever they have to say. So one person who has also now pinpointed a few people who he claims paid people to, boo the president. He says that 75 people from Fadama were paid 120 cedis to boo the president. And I don't think this is true, because I was there, right, on the ground at that particular time the president mounted the stage. And listen, everybody was booing, or most people were booing. Let me put it that way. Most people were booing, including girls. I just want to read what Mr. Hobson Adoye said, and this is what he said. Now, in an interview, he mentioned that our own Baba Sadiq Abdullahi Abu and 2 others paid the NDC communication team member, and then Al Hassan Suhini, they paid people from Fadama to do this, right? And I'm like, okay, is he just saying it because he just wants to accuse people, or is he saying it because he has evidence? Now Baba Sadiq has come to thwart all of this, and he says it's not true, and this is just a way to run him down, okay, because he's aspiring for office. Now, he said that this plot, according to Hobson Adoye, this plot was masterminded by Baba Sadiq, as he is a key player in the entertainment industry. Now, he also said that Baba Sadiq went ahead to say that Hobson Adoye does not respect himself, which I'm like, Well, we have comments to this on socials. This is from Zion Felix, and Victor Owusu says Hobson doesn't respect himself, and that Baba Sadiq guy too feels too proud of himself. He should humble himself. Okay, opinions. Darko Joseph says that Hobson Adoye don't know what he's doing. He for come up for there if them boo president, and so what? Because the performance is judging him. Okay. Father Dixon also says, I used to say that a foolish old person is especially foolish because an old person should have learned from experience not to make the kind of mistakes a young person makes. So this is not the Father Dixon please. This is Father T.K. Dixon, okay? Lastly is from Richard Gatoko, who says, in fact, the president needs to be booed more than that. Wow. Anyway, people have opinions, and I mentioned earlier that it's quite an unfortunate incident, but people are angry, so many things happening and not happening in the country. And so, yes, now this story wraps it up for me on Trending Live for today. We touched on ECG as well as Nigeria 62 and Hobson Adoye versus Baba Sadiq Abdullahi Abu, rounding up on Trending Live. Jay Serial.
Well, thank you very much,
gentlemen.
Lenny. It's that last story that kicks in a lot, talking about reactions from the audience during the time the president. I know if they investigate, a lot of things will come out. So let's leave it at that. and the most important thing is that Ghana had the Global Citizen Festival happen in our country, on our land. So, these things sometimes will just end up muddying our waters and the things we need to throw light on. But anyway, it's all good though. Coming up next, we're jumping into our Studio 899. Before that, me and Cyril, real quick, let's touch on this one. So, Corporate Ghana support and involvement in creative arts. Corporate Ghana. Man City, of course, destroying Manchester United.
Leave us alone.
Corporate Ghana. And I know there's a lot for us to discuss, and you come with a wealth of knowledge in this area as well, because what are we not doing? Is it the proposal? Is it because look at KOD's rhythm on the runway. It was spectacular, And over the years, he's done this thing single-handedly. You watched 2Qs be mute. Lexi was here. He spoke about it. Are we saying that no corporate body, no 3 Music Awards and all, no corporate body just shares interest in this?
Track record. KOD has the track record, and he's a reputable brand on his own. So when he's able to show return on investment to the necessary corporate partners, they don't have a problem supporting him. But that's something that a lot of the creative people don't do. We don't treat ourselves as businesses or as brands. So we invest so much in the passion of what we are creative art, but not in creating a business frame
Yes,
around
but
that.
I think that's the corporate. You see, also comes to that marketing manager who's sitting there, and does he also understand how to plug in? But I mean, that's why our argument is going to
we'll
go
get into it. They are also part of the problem to an
yes,
extent.
it's an ecosystem of problems. But let's get ready for our Studio 899 conversations. It's part 2 of our conversations here, right here on Plus 89.9 FM, as well as live on 3 Music TV. It's myself, it's Lenny, and Cyril. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And yes, welcome back to the second part of our show this morning, going all the way till 10 a.m. It's Jay, Lenny, and Cyril over here. We've been hosting you from 7 a.m. Now, there's a big conversation line before us. Before I do that, let me say good morning to all those who are live with me on my Instagram at jfoley2131. Good morning going out to all of you. I see you, Kobe Che. I see you, Casford. I see you, Opinion Culture as well. Kutu, I beg your pardon. All of you out there, shouts to you, making us number one at who we are and what we do. But anyways, this morning on the show, there is something that happened over the weekend that has sparked this conversation with us here in the studio. Now, quite a number of amazing shows happen. You know, the likes of KOD's Rhythms on the Runway, the likes of Too Cute to Be Mute by Lexi the Comic, run by Image Bureau, and Nasha Kaur and George Quay again partnering to bring you Run for Your Wife. It's a pretty packed entertainment weekend. Now, last 2 weeks as well, we did have the Global Citizen event happen in Ghana. We saw what kind of investment, if corporate, Ghana comes in with partnership with government, can create this massive eruption of creative arts, blowing and selling the country beyond the borders of just Ghana. Now, over the years as well, we've seen quite a number of amazing events happening, like Ashaiman to the World concert, Rapaholic, and quite all these shows have happened. Now, the question is that some of these shows have happened without the support of corporate Ghana. When we say corporate Ghana, we're talking all these corporate bodies that are making massive profits, from consumer activities in the country. We want them to be part of this conversation and this narrative to make our event stand strong. Not to downplay the fact that we've had the likes of Vodafone, Letseho, Tigo, MTN, ABSA, Stanchart. We've had such bodies as well throw in massive investments into talent to help propel their craft to greater heights. But still, the question is it enough? That is what we are putting to you. Is it enough? We want to talk about this morning. We are honored to have some guests join us later on in the show. Experts from this industry who will tell us who is at fault or what creative arts is doing wrong, as well as what corporate bodies are missing with regards to the opportunity available with us. Let me just get back into our convo with my friends, family, my everything, Lenny, who has dogged all the boys who have come her way. let me put the mics on. Yeah, we've dogged all the boys who have
all
come
16
her way.
this month. Already day 3, 16.
16 guys have been dumped.
In 3
We'll
days.
talk about it.
That's a serious.
No, shut up there.
Can't you guys tell that it's a lie?
It's not a lie.
Purely.
Who is your babe?
Yeah, who's your babe? I mean, you can't call me. No, come on. You can't be calling me babe, dear, sweetie, and all that. And we are just friends. No, and we are just friends. You can't do that.
Oh, babe, but why?
No, if you call me that, what will you be calling your girlfriend?
Oh, lebu, but why?
No.
Well, okay, so Lebu.
Who's your lebu? Who's your lebu?
Lebu and
Lebro.
Well, anyway, if you're also watching us, if you're listening to us live on Plus FM, let us hear you out this morning. We'd love to hear from you via our platforms, Plus 89.9 FM, and also on 3 Music on Facebook as well. Okay, so where do we start from with this conversation? Cyril, where do we even tackle this from? I don't want us to just get up and apportion blame because, clearly there have been some major, huge investments from even telcos like MTN with regards to music in Ghana, and then from Vodafone and Tigo. All these brands, have supported certain major platforms like Foresight TV, the Ghana Music Awards. Now we are seeing Adonko Bitter step in, Tabia supporting the UK Ghana Music Awards and US Ghana Music Awards, and all these events. So, yes, we can't completely rubbish these efforts. So where do we start this conversation from? Because clearly there is a problem.
I think the first place we must have the conversation from is from a point where we come to terms with the fact that there is nobody to blame. And there's nobody to blame because corporate Ghana is not compelled or obliged to allocate their funds to what we deem important. They are compelled to use their money for what they seem fit for their purpose and their goal for each fiscal year. So a company X is not compelled to look for the latest musician or the latest creative and pour money into their brand or their events. The company is focused on its own initiatives and on its own goal for each year. So when we use the term blame, it's like it's a job they should be doing and they are not doing. Before we get into the crux of the conversation, that's what we need to understand. That that entitlement that we speak from, that Charlie, why corporate Ghana know they do them. Corporate Ghana is doing what is best for corporate Ghana.
They don't owe us.
They don't owe us that much. It's our responsibility to position ourselves in such a way that corporate Ghana finds the value in leveraging off what we have to offer. And that's where I really think the conversation needs to start from. That what are we doing that is not letting us be in a position to be leveraged on or to be partnered and supported?
It's a general lack of interest, but anyway, those are the things that
I don't
we are
think it's
going
lack of
to.
interest.
It
we are
shouldn't
going
be
to
lack of interest.
I mean, if it's coming from outside, would they jump on? If it's generated internally, would they jump on? Are we not doing it well? Because we are using the resources available to us to be able to do the things that we do. But anyway, I don't know if it's right for me to do this right now, but let me just still introduce one of key brand strategists, Mr. Jesse Japon, this morning, who's joined us live in the studio. He sat in both spaces. He has received proposals and he has sent proposals. So he clearly has an understanding, of how this works. I don't know where we should start this convo from, but maybe, Jesse, welcome to our studio.
Good morning, and thank you very much. It's a very fantastic studio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's great to be here.
This is Corporate Ghana's investment.
This is for the culture, indeed.
Clearly for the culture. Yes. Because we don't have much time, we want to just exhaust this conversation.
Okay,
and we're going to start right from the beginning. Can we entirely blame the creative arts talents, all those in the value chain, producers, engineers, designers, strategists? Does the blame sit on them entirely with positioning to make the crafts that we do attractive for brands to identify opportunity in them?
So it seems like a very simple question, but I think that the way you've asked it makes it a little bit difficult. No, it's a fair question. But first, before I answer the question, let me just jump in on a comment that had been made earlier. The comment was in relation to whether corporate Ghana owes the art space. I would say yes and no. Corporate Ghana, by its existence, relates strongly to the market. And there are various types of markets. So you might say there's a kids market, you might say there's the matured market, you might say there's a female market, you might say there's a male market, and every market has its own nuances. So to the extent that the publics that the corporate Ghana deals with includes by extension people within the arts who are also consumers of corporate Ghana's products, then corporate Ghana should be interested in what its customers are doing. Now, the corporate Ghana's customer could be a father, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, and a consumer of that product, plus being an entertainer. So it's in your interest as a corporate institution to ensure that your share of value is increasing because your customers are buying into you. So if you see artists basically as individuals sitting on planet Pluto, and you are sitting on planet Venus, and therefore that's their act, then you are missing the essence of they also being potential customers. So you must be interested in them.
Yeah.
Two, corporate Ghana is also interested in the general growth of the macroeconomy. So you pick MTN, Vodafone, 3Music, your output collectively becomes the general output of the country. So if you show less interest in the growth of the art space, and the art space as an example, let's say the art space contributes 5% or 7% of Ghana's GDP, as an example. If that tumbles, what does that mean?
GDP drops.
It drops. Yeah. If that tumbles and GDP drops, it has an impact on almost everybody else. So whilst you might not have a direct interest in the arts
or obligations,
as an example, you would be interested in the value chain that pieces it together. Final point. These equipments in this room were imported. I would say it's part of the creative art space, but it came through customs. Customs made money out of it. The hat you're wearing was probably done by, let's say, assume it was done by a local person. It's part of the art space. the way we dance, the way we move, everything else. So the ecosystem is very big. Music distribution, online space. Production. So the reason why somebody in Swedru might be able to listen to somebody's song is because internet is working. So internet cannot say that I am distinct from the arts because it's a vehicle for the guy to get it. So it's you, the corporate guy. You must be interested in the arts.
Take advantage.
And you must find your plug in the arts to make it relevant to you. That'll be my first point.
It's opened, it's opened up a lot of things. I'm just trying to see where this point.
Let me damage you small. Damage you small.
Sits exactly.
Oh, what's your name, please?
Lenny.
Yeah,
Lebu, aka Lebu.
When you see Lenny, what do you see? Look at her.
A beautiful woman.
Good. What else do you see?
I see a shade of hair.
What else do you see?
I see amazing skin color and a lovely
What else do
smile.
you see? Last one.
The last one. Cyril.
I'm waiting for you.
You better not see that one. Come on.
I see a tattoo on her.
Pause. Even for you, you didn't see a player in the entertainment industry.
Yes, I didn't see any of that.
Why didn't you see that?
Well,
You could have seen anything.
Yes.
You get what I mean? You could have seen a potential brand ambassador. You could have seen a voiceover artist. You could have seen an ambassador or a model for a hair cream or a proper anything. You could have seen somebody pushing ads for a dental. She's got really nice teeth. So you could have seen any of that. But you chose to see the things that you wanted to see.
Yes.
So corporate Ghana's job, the same way, needs to understand that she's more than somebody in the entertainment industry. She's also a potential consumer. So be interested in her.
So corporate Ghana is looking out. Is not. Are you saying that they are choosing what they want to see in the consumer?
I'm saying that everybody sees what they want to see. So I just wanted to clear the conception that they don't owe the arts one, because the art is amalgamation of individuals and properties. The individuals, in my view, are both owners of the craft and potential consumers of the product. So Kofi Kinata, he drives a car, buys fuel, pays school fees. You see, treat them as human beings first.
Okay. Before you...
Yeah. So he buys fuel, he buys kelewele by the roadside, he goes to the pharmacy shop, he buys medicine. He's a normal human being who needs to go and come. And it's before he picks a mic to sing. So even if you won't see him as somebody within entertainment space, he's a normal consumer, and you must be interested in a consumer.
So Jesse, so based on that, are you saying that
Yes.
there should be a
intentionality?
Around. I mean, yes, corporate Ghana would definitely feed its priority. It will highlight its priority and make sure they deliver that. So, example, a telco would make sure that it's doing its core, objective.
Yes.
Is offer a certain service of telecommunications. Property services to the consumer. So in corporate, in the entertainment or arts, the creative arts industry now coming to present a new, let's say, direction or wave or something that's not their core business, it now becomes an option. Is that right? Is that how they're supposed to look at it, as an option for them? Because the reason the creative arts industry is turning to corporate Ghana is that there is no other place to look for with regards to people who would have the financial muscle to make things happen for them. To support it. Yeah. So, I mean, government is burdened. So there's no other place to look at. That is the reason why we feel it is mandatory, sort of, that corporate Ghana should look at the creative arts space, because there is potential. Yeah. And we are crying on our own that, look, we don't have the means to make things happen. When a little bit of corporate Ghana stepped in to Sarkodie as an artist, as a talent, we saw the evolution and the eruption that it brought. I'm sure it gave him money. It sure did. I mean, I can't mention figures on air, but Samsung and all these, Casa Preco stepping in with Shatawale. I mean, rumors have it that it was such a good, the feedback was so good that there were extensions. You've seen Techno with Stone Boy. So if it happens, it would work well.
Yes.
But it seems it is very small. The investment is very small.
Okay. So there are two parts of your question. The first part of your question is an admission that it is happening.
It is happening, yes.
The second part is that maybe it's not happening as radical as we expect it to happen. I was having this conversation with somebody, and I said that maybe if we simplify the biggest difference between Ghana and Nigeria, and we share lots of things. In my view, to your point, in my view, access to liquidity is one of the biggest differences. And liquidity in terms of how much cash is available and being moved around the country for things to happen. If I bring that into your question, can corporates spend more? The answer is yes.
So why are they not spending?
But corporates' budget spending is also situated again within the bigger macro framework. Let me give you a classical example. Let's say you're doing a business and your gross margin, when you pick your total sales, you take out your direct cost out of it. Let's say your gross margin is 60%. 60% gross margin is you cutting it close, and it's too close. Because you now need to add your expenses and things to it.
Overheads
and then you now come to land on your net margins. And when you land on your net margins, you're now moving into whether you made profits or not. Now, unfortunately, right, by the time you get to the bottom line, many of the margins are so depleted. So you mentioned there are businesses today that are spending more on the arts than your mainstream businesses. Because your mainstream businesses are holding Excel sheets and they are over-analyzing it. And they say, look, our group says that our net margin contribution should be 20%. So if I need to spend $200,000 on an art, and that would move it from 20% to 18%, I won't touch it. So I'll come back to the art and I would say, instead of doing $200,000, why am I saying dollars? 200,000 cedis.
Yes.
I will do 100,000 cedis. Then the art says, I no longer charge 100,000 cedis. You get what I mean? Then boom, the deal is off. It happens a lot. For mainstream businesses, let's be very fair, the corporate objective is not just shaped by the marketing person you're talking to. It's shaped by a template that says that your contribution to the general business growth should be 20%. Bottom line should be 15%. Anything beyond that won't move, won't budge. That's one of the things that will stop the corporate person from over-investing in the arts if the numbers don't add up. Don't forget, the artist is part of what you might call the marketing mix of the corporate structure. So what's a marketing mix? So let's call the marketing mix a toolkit. Like in your vehicle, you've got a toolkit in the car. Depending on the problem that you're facing, you choose a particular tool. So if the tire gets bust by the roadside, you probably will choose one tool. If it's overheating, you would choose a different one. If it's not sparking, you would choose a jumper cable. The artist is just one of the tools in the toolkit. So I choose to use the artist when I need to use the artist. I can't carry the artist all the way through the existence or dependency of the movement of the car.
When there's no value.
When there's no value. So I'm launching my brand today in Ghana. I'm looking for very strong awareness. I'm carrying my toolkit. And the toolkit is what? Billboards, online, sponsorship of music program on 3 Music, sponsorship of Jay Foley. Jay Foley brought me a proposal for 100,000 cedis for voiceover. Lenny comes to say that I'm the most vibrant person on the social media space. Make I give you the money, so I beg you. It is a look, I control Ashanti region. They did my hand inside. And then Shatta Wale says $100,000. Everybody comes to say, Billboard company says this. Then a school in Kenton Chrono says, look, we need 100,000 to feed the needy in the school. So that's CSR. They also put it on the table, and government says you got to pay me taxes here and there. Employees says I want more salary. So you put all in the table. Good quality employees, good marketing channels, great artists. You shake all of it together, and you spread it on the table. And you say, how much can I give to each person? The first question is this: which of these will give me the biggest value in the Ghanaian market? So I take solid employees, good business location, great. Good products, great. I'm ticking the box. I'm ticking the boxes.
Priority.
Good. Then when I am done, and I'll go to how do I reach my consumer? I say, who's my consumer? I say, my consumer is a Those within the culture, sleek, young, amazing, good-looking, ready to push the boundary a little bit. Okay, how many are there in Ghana? So if we take the Ghanaian population, those within the culture are just 2 million people. Okay, great. So what do I do then? I need to invest in that. Now, who can get me to reach them? Now, this is where the issue comes in. So Lenny comes in and says, I've got 1.2 million people on social media. Let's say Mark Brown. She's a big brand online, solid brand. Shatta says, yo, I'm a big brand also. Great stuff. Awesome. Got 4 million views. So let's say, Shatta, how much would you charge? He says 10 cities. I'll charge you that. Mark Brown, how much did you charge? I'll charge you 3 cities. Lenny, how much would you charge? I'll charge you 10 pesos. So somebody might say in the boardroom, okay, the combined effect of Lenny and Mark Brown might give us the same value as Shatta. So I would have paid cheaper, less for activating that same area.
That same market.
Done, maybe spend on the big arts. Let me muddy it a little bit. So a few months ago, we understood that the TikTokers who say they're the biggest drivers of music today.
Yeah.
How much are they charging to drive music today? They're not charging $100,000. No. Good. Now, social media has also pluralized the entire space so much that the amount of monies, and we're not used to big monies as a country anyway. But now people are paying 200, 300, 400, 500 Ghana cedis. So some brands today would say, instead of spending such a big buck on big artists, if I can spend 20,000 cedis a month influencing it, getting my views, my attention, why wouldn't I do that? It's one of the things affecting us now. So you now have very few brands willing to spend big. Now, I watched a video that projected the amount of money that the Nigerian arts are making today. And they're earning a lot.
A lot.
So much.
Big market.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Nigeria is not just that territory. Nigeria is now a culture. It's everywhere.
That's a very interesting statement you just passed. Nigeria is not. It's going.
Nigeria is in New York,
into fashion. They've taken over.
Yeah, it's a
I keep
culture.
saying that the kaftan came from there, right?
Yeah.
The kaftan is something that
It was popularized by
Yeah.
their chiefs and
Yes.
what they call it
The
locally,
prominent
Agbada.
people, yeah, Agbada.
and now ladies
derived
are
off the
now.
Agbada.
Is it what you call it?
The
Gele?
Gele or
Gele.
Gele. You get what I mean? So if somebody says I'm giving an art, so I give maybe is his name Odogo?
Benaboy.
Benaboy. Is he Dogo or Dogo? Odogu. Okay. If they give him say $1 million, they're not giving $1 million because of Nigeria. They're giving it to him because of Nigeria, because of Ghana, because of London, because
South
of
Africa.
America, South Africa.
Everywhere his brand has a footprint.
No, not his brand. Everywhere the Nigeria brand spreads,
Okay.
they are tapping into him to reach. So one of the reasons why you would also spend big bucks on a brand is because of reach. So it's really not a conversation as to why are corporates not spending on as
Okay,
much.
so on the back of that, before you so let me just shoot into reverse. Keith.
Okay, go, let's go.
So how would you advise? Let's go back to building talent.
Yes.
And building the creative. How do we prepare the creative space to become so attractive? So attractive that, I mean, with all the things laid in the table before, the corporate person, he or she will say, you know what, this I have to go with this direction. How should we prepare ourselves? What should we do? What should we? I mean, it's a whole lot. It's like we keep on talking about the fact that we are so focused on the passion and we ignore the business. So how do we build this model as a creative person? So when we sit before a corporate person, the conversation is balanced.
When Jesse is done,
Yes. So I really don't know, but I think that I have not seen I'm yet to see a very well structured industry of crazy lawyers. And I'm using the word crazy in a particular way. I believe in positive disruption, right? Who is the biggest legal advocate for the arts? I'll give you 10 seconds. Tell me.
In Ghana?
Yeah.
Legal advocates. I'll give one to
Morris.
Cynthia Kwaku.
Okay.
I'll give one to her.
Morris Ampar.
And then
Pause.
And
Pause
then-
on that thought. Pause is fine.
Okay, all right.
Who's the biggest business strategy advocate for the arts? Take your time.
He's getting to.
I mean, there might
This
be
is
popular
what-
ones and unpopular ones.
Who's
So-
the
you see-
biggest promoter of the arts within
Yeah.
Parliament today? Tell me.
That's Jay. I mean,
Honorable.
All I am doing is this.
I get what you're doing. And earlier on,
Yes.
the direction I was preaching to Jay
Yes.
from was that the arts has its value intricately as what it is.
Yes.
But what the arts, and we are all in the arts, what the arts has failed to do
Yeah.
is look at itself beyond the intricate value and think of itself as a business.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment you start operating or thinking as a business,
Mm-hmm.
then you start leveraging on the things you need to expand and connect on a B2B level.
Yes, agreed.
And on that B2B level is when initiatives and like what you're saying happens, like lobbying, like who is speaking for us when there's where policy is being made, who is speaking for us
Agreed.
on the legal front.
Agreed.
And that is where I feel that the creative arts has not invested as much as it should as compared to what it has invested in delivering the art form itself.
But we tried to get a boy in there, and then we didn't,
No,
we
you
didn't
see,
wait for
there's a difference. There's a difference. It's the same. Let me.
Shouts to President Obo.
It's the same.
Yeah.
When we had our earlier conversation with Sadiq, I think episode 1 or something, we said there are too many creatives playing executive roles. So you set up an institution or you set up a brand. Let's say Lenny's personal brand, and Lenny is being managed, or her business team is full of creatives. That in itself might be a problematic, because I would rather have Lenny's team and her business strategist be Jesse, right? Who is not necessarily a creative person, but on the realm of being a business strategist is 110% there, and all we have to do is give him a final product, and he will tell you that the same way he just analyzed there from a brand perspective, right? He can do that without necessarily being able to sing, rap, dance, draw.
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to. So what we have now, and from my observation, and Jay, we've both been in the industry for a long time. What happens? Any creative output emerges, and it is surrounded by creatives again who try to play the executive role. We don't open up the creative property and give it to people who are non-creatives but are experts in their role. We
Yeah,
don't
but you
say-
can't blame. Okay, so let me just be a devil's advocate.
Yes.
Here. You can't blame the creative for not established, because sometimes as well it is there should be that genuine or willing.
I'll blame the creatives
support
because let me give you an
and
example.
that's
Let
all
me give
they
you an
know.
example. Jay, let me give you an example.
This is not me, right? This is
No,
just
no,
you
no,
guys.
no. Yeah.
I think
Lenny,
when that
when the
happens,
musician makes a good song, right, and he wants a video, he knows nobody in his team can deliver the video he wants. So he calls a videographer, the best at it that he can afford, where his price point and the skill set meet. He calls that videographer and says, videographer, hey, this is our song. Get us a video. When he needs fashion, he knows nobody in his team can deliver the fashion. So he calls the right tailor, stylist, whatever, to do that. When he needs to go on tour, he knows his team members cannot deliver that tour. So he calls a promoter in the UK. We need to do a Europe thing. Can you work it together? They do it and they plug in. When the same way we need to apply to business, to sponsorship, to brand affiliations and brand partnerships. You don't force it to be homegrown. You say Lenny's brand is now at Apex. We are comfortable with Lenny's brand. How do we plug into corporate? Who is that socket? Who is that converter? That takes talent and turns it to business. Then we call that external factor and say, this is Jay Foley's brand. These are our numbers. Do your magic.
Let me play the devil's advocate with regards to supporting the creatives in this and disagreeing with what you were saying partly. Because and Jesse, I'm throwing this back to you as well. Like, you had mentioned the number of things that the corporate space or the corporate person, the marketing head, group
Needs to
manager
deal with,
want to
yes.
look into and find a way that it adds on to the growth of and benefit of his company.
Yes.
which is well understood. But the thing is that, look, at the end of the day, all these individuals, like you said, what do I see when I look at Lenny?
Yes.
All these individuals consume music.
Agreed.
They watch television.
Yes.
They consume foreign content.
Yes.
They are watching Indian soap telenovelas.
Yes.
And they're doing all these things. So it comes back to my question, where regardless the ignorance of business from the creative person, he or she has done what he can do. Why? And it comes back to my question again. So why are all these MDs going home, let me use a practical example, taking their DSTV remotes to watch Super Sports, enjoy the beauty around how it's been packaged.
Jay?
They are watching. I'm coming. I mentioned one that you can touch on, but let me mention another
problem.
one you can't touch on. They are watching e-news, and they're enjoying how it's been packaged. They're enjoying all. Let me even come down to some more local content here. They are tuning into 3 Music. They are enjoying the stream of viewed videos being curated and viewed. You can blame the industry person for not being business enough, but he's done what he can do.
Exactly.
So the question is, why are all these MDs and top managers watching, consuming these things, and not realizing that, look, there's something that we can do to turn these guys around? Because music is so powerful. It's even more powerful than it is powerful. It has Bob Marley's. There's conspiracy theory, and I'm saying this based on conspiracy theory. I beg you, that Bob Marley was killed because of his outburst and how he spoke the truth through music. I mean, it was just a conspiracy theory, not necessarily true. I beg your pardon. You understand? But that's how powerful music is.
Yeah.
It brings down countries.
Even
it raises countries.
Bobby Wine.
Yes.
What's his
So if all these people are identifying these areas, why can't be an intentional support? Not to downplay the other brands that have done it, but what's happening now is that now the companies, these corporate bodies, have now taken the food off the plate of these industry people, of these talent managers, by organizing their own events, and branding their names around it, and going with it, and just handing it over to a third party to piece it together, and then they call their name, put their names big on it, and they take the credits and the shine. It's like you've seen somebody, I don't want to mention it, but you've seen somebody organize an event, maybe an assignment to the World Concert, and then you go and organize your own and put your name and call it out. And is it fair to the industry?
Obviously theirs will be.
I have a good.
I have to stand on the part of it. Let me talk. Yeah.
No. Theirs will be bigger and better because they have the money to push into it, right? But talking about the creatives not building teams, business minded. For all you know, those are the people they know. Those are the people they think can push them and their brand to another level or put them on a certain pedestal. But if we come to look at corporate Ghana, does corporate Ghana believe much in the brand, in the personality, to be able to, if it's an activation they are running, if it's a rebranding they are doing, do they believe so much in the personality and the brand to be able to say that whatever money I have to maybe do traditional media advertisement or to do a digital media advertisement, I'm going to put it or give it to this brand to just handle in total the 360 of this rebranding for me, or to handle the 360 of this particular marketing campaign for me?
Should I go?
Yes, please.
Yeah, Jesse can go then.
So you've your submission would, well, let me do 2 things. So I don't know whether I should start from the last point. The last question you were asking, the answer is no. In my view, I won't hand over, if I understand the meaning of handing over, but I won't hand over to the creative to do my rebranding, but I will let the creative lead the rebranding.
Yeah, it's the leading.
It's the leading.
Yeah.
Good. And I'll give an example. I was, in my time in Tigo, I think I was one of the biggest supporters of the creative space.
Yeah.
And I'm being honest with you.
We'll give that to you.
Yeah, I would monkey beat my chest and hop from tree to tree like Tarzan, and own that space. Because one, we were all over the place in terms of Tigo Ghana Meets Niger. And then we launched, in my view, what was one of the biggest platforms before the Chalice of this world. Tigo Music Unplugged. Massive event. It was really, really big. I think that the events that Trump started in terms of numbers, like the Akon was like amazing. Akon was like a sick event. But Unplug was really, really great. The intention behind Unplug was to regionalize it. So we had an Accra, we did Kumasi, we're going to go to Cape Coast and take the show everywhere. Wherever we went to, we would celebrate the culture and make everything great. So to your question, would the arts, what would be the impact of the arts? When I worked in Tigo, as an example, the Tigo brand was a distant challenger within the telco space. And a distant challenger is you've got number one. Let's say J Foley is the number one here. And let's say Serial is number 2. And we are it's a 4-player market. And I'm also a challenger, but I'm far behind. So Jay has like 70% market share. He has like 30% market share. I have like 2% market share. So you become like a distant challenger. The race you are in, but you know the inside. Like that.
You're not a threat.
You're not a threat. Now, I realized that the team and I realized that for us to be positively disruptive, we had to do things that we hadn't done before. We had a good product, but our penetration within the market awareness was very weak. So we decided to do 2 key things. To create advertising contents that are so funny and witty and crazy. Understanding that the general nuance of advertising can be triggered by color, message, dance, music, and 2 more. 1 more that I've forgotten. So color, message, music, dance, and 1 more thing I remember. Now, music was key for us, so we called it out deliberately. And we started somewhere, making sure that it becomes a part of us. The second bit was, how do we therefore activate the music? So I met with all the artists. I met with Stonebwoy, met with Shatta, met with Obrafo, met with all of them. Now, this is what I want to share. People like Shatta Wale were very intentional about what they wanted from corporate Ghana. So Shatta might sit on the table and say, I'm supposed to charge you 100,000 Ghana cedis. I say, give me a discount. He says, if I give you the discount, you for create 2 more shows for me and put me for top. It locks you into the future. Somebody might say, okay, give me 100,000. I don't have 100,000 cedis. It's okay, fine, cool. Then I know go do them. But Shatta always insisted, if I'm supposed to charge you 10 cedis, Bulldog says we'll give you the discount to 80 cedis. It means that when are your next 2 shows? I have to be fast to say we've got a show in October and December. You're locking value in for the artist. He's traded a discount for longevity.
Yeah.
2, when we were rebranding Tigo, I asked Shatta to create a song for us, the Tigo song. It's a song that Shatta did. I said, I don't get money. So okay, cool. Bulldog came with an invoice. He said, we should have charged you 100,000 cedis. We were giving you a 100% discount. Why do you think he did that? So we would appreciate the value of what he's about to do. So that on my books, it will sit there that next time I call him for a song, is what, 100,000 Ghana cedis. We are quick to also do free things within the industry. In my view, even if you do free things, let the person you're doing it for understand the value of what you're doing. Give him a discount. Give him a 100% discount. It's fine. Shatta, Stone, EL, the rest of the guys are the ones who shot Tigo from distance in terms of awareness to the highest point of top of mind. I even won an award as Marketing Practitioner of the Year. The brand sales were boom, brand awareness were boom. So the arts space is one that can help brands accelerate in a crazy way because these brands are loved and the artists are loved. The real question is not whether the artists add value to brands. They do add value to brands. 2, take a look at media spend now. The biggest spends would be either going into sports or entertainment. They might not be giving the money to the artists, like you're saying, but the money might be coming through music to sponsor this amazing program, which is being curated for and on behalf of the same art. Go to multimedia, go to Despite. Some of the biggest budgets being spent is on entertainment. Why is it on entertainment? Because the value being created is there. So I get the essence of maybe the corporates are not putting their money in the hands of the artists per se, but the corporates are also all over the place, sponsoring events, sponsoring activities. I was part of the Emmy Awards. Beautiful event. Kobna is, ever blazing. Amazing guy. He performed there, and he was part of the program. So the corporates understand that it's important to partner with them. The question is this: how much is enough? And this whole discussion we are having here is not about whether they spend or not. It's about whether they could spend more. In spending more, what are you putting on the table extra? Next thing I will say is this: why do the corporate sponsor? Corporate will sponsor because it fits their objective. If it fits the objective of the corporate institution to use music as a toolkit, then music would be a platform to be used. That's number 1. Number 2, it might not fit as a toolkit in terms of music being driven. But if the corporate also believes in driving community engagement and any level of CSR activity, then, Jay, trust me, any artist who's also looking for that partnership with the corporate should reach out to them. There are guys who are doing great, partnering with their brands and driving their corporate social responsibilities. It's also working super great. So, in my view, it's a catch-22.
Interesting. Cyril, you want to?
Yeah, I wanted to.
Yeah,
you made the juxtaposition of the fact that the people who seem to be bottlenecking the interaction between corporate Ghana and creatives also consume it quite a lot. They sit in their car, the MD, the marketing head, they jump to music as well. They also have a favorite artist. They go home, they turn on 3 Music, they turn on DSTV. My thinking of that is consumer psychology.
Yes.
When the MD sits in his couch after a long day, even before he picks up the remote, psychologically he's off work mode.
Yes.
And entertainment, as it's been presented to us over and over again,
Yes.
is a leisure and a passive leisure as at that. If I go swimming, it's active leisure. I don't just jump in the pool and think swimming will happen to me. I am actively doing it. But when you get home 90% of the time, you turn on a screen. It's to unwind. So people are not necessarily in that thinking mode as he was. For example, Jesse. If I went to Jesse's office and met Jesse, right? Even before speaking up, we are both psychologically aware of what is about to go down. But if you called Jesse and it was Sunday afternoon and he was relaxing at home, you'd have to engage, you'd have to initiate him into that mood for him to talk about it. And that's when you get the kind of responses, oh, then we could make a Monday, come office. So the psychology of how creative arts and entertainment is consumed also affects the perception of it. So that's why where and when you make your
Can I
pitch
ask a question?
matters.
Can I ask a question?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have another strategist on the line real quickly.
Yes.
Just please give me a second. So let me switch over to a senior partner manager at Twitter, the brands and marketing enthusiast as well, Bernard Meister. Good morning to you, Meister. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me, Meister?
Can you hear me too? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, so I'm just struggling. I can hear you, but in the distance. Let me see if I can just adjust my microphone a little bit. Can you? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay,
but
awesome.
I don't know if you
Okay.
can hear me.
Yes, so I'm just having a little bit of some feedback here, but I think we can still manage it. So if you can hear me, Meister, you've also been in this space and you've played in both sides as well for a number of years. Let me just get practical with you first with the engagements with you and Mr. Easy. Mr. Easy, you did an amazing job. I mean, picking a raw talent like Mr. Easy and turning it into something that first of the fans could consume and the corporate space could find business in there. Can you just give us just a practical idea of what you identified and what you did first?
I mean, I've been listening into the conversation, and I'm even wondering, you guys have Jesse in the studio, and I don't think you need me. But basically, I've been listening to the conversation, and it's been interesting. What I want to say is, when it comes to the music space, entertainment space, a chunk of the revenue comes from streams. I'm sure Cyril can attest to that. A reason why even when I was working with Easy, we work hard, is to get the attention of the corporate world and to get endorsements or get booked by corporate bodies. If you look at, let's say, Jay-Z, Kanye, all of them they are rich because of corporate. They're rich because of Gap, because of
so we're having challenges with the network. I don't know if you might want to reposition yourself, but your pointers seem very interesting.
All artists are rich because of corporates. So
we'll try and re-establish connection with Meister. Can you hear me, Meister?
Definitely, I contributed to it. Hello.
Okay, so
yeah, I can hear, but did you hear anything I said?
All right, let's try again. We want to establish the connection with you again.
How long are you in the studio? I could come by.
Oh, we are waiting for you, my brother. It is the call.
We're
It's the
here
call
till 10.
till 10 a.m. So please turn your hazards on, and you can get a policeman to help you beat the traffic. But it'll be good to have you join us in the
try and
studio.
dial in again.
Yeah. So let's try and get Meister in here. He's not far away from us. Let's pull him here. He wants to enjoy.
No, but
his
Jesse
coffee.
wanted to before we
there's a
both
question
forget.
We were going to ask. Yeah. a very heavy question that was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I missed my
must
chain
have
of
slipped.
thought.
No, I was talking about he was saying that corporate heads consume the product.
Yes.
So why are they not automatically triggered to think that,
you
hey,
triggered me.
blah, blah. Okay, it's good you are triggered.
You triggered me on
Unleash.
when you said mood set. You said
Yeah.
setting the mood, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what's the role of music? What does music mean to you?
Primarily entertain.
Just to entertain.
Yeah, primarily.
Well, for me, it's a mood changer.
It's a mood, like when you turn off the lights and. What does music mean to you?
For entertainment.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's not.
Entertainment, motivation. Let me
Yes.
put that in.
So if I choose the two,
Yeah.
if I choose all of you, then it means that if we represented exactly what the consumer would want, it means that the essence of music is to entertain.
Yes.
If it's entertain, then it means that we need to tap into that salient
Yes.
of music entertaining.
Yes.
And therefore, beyond you saying that music is passive in the environment, turn the music off and the poolside is boring.
Yes.
So whilst it's passive, it's also entertaining.
Yes.
Now, so for many brands out there, if the consumer moment is that of entertainment, you have to tap into that.
Yes.
And you need to demonstrate, like they all know already, you need to demonstrate that you are the biggest in terms of driving the entertainment within the target space.
Yeah. By offering that unique value that your brand.
Precisely.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? And by doing that, then you know very well that, again, you're showing the numbers. I have the biggest reach. I have the biggest followership. I am super amazing. Look, I've listened to people trying to rationalize Kweku the Traveler's new song, right? I love it. Okay? Now, there are people who say, is it entertaining enough or is it mentally stimulating enough? Wherever space you find yourself in, does it entertain you? If it does, hold hands and let's sing Kumbaya. I'm fine with that. So if the essence of his music is to entertain and he's achieving that, and corporates love that, then that's where the dollar goes.
Yeah. You've brought me to my point.
So
When you're
far,
done.
what's the biggest deal he has signed?
Yeah.
Corporate sponsorship. What's the biggest deal that he signed?
With what's his name? You're talking
Black Traveler.
Black Sheriff. Yeah. Biggest deal.
So you're trying to think about it now.
Yes.
Another issue that I have is that we're not quick to even announce and celebrate these big numbers.
Yeah.
So, and the reason I'm asking this question is this: that I remember when I sat in a room with who won Artist of the Year when I was in Tigo. I forgot.
Was it EL?
Before EL, I think Sarkodie had won it.
Yeah.
And we're talking fees. And I said, "Oh, Charlie Obeche saying." Then he mentioned a figure I've forgotten. I said, "It's too much." He says, "If I don't charge you more, those behind me can't charge more because they are looking to the leaders to shape the
standard."
industry."
Yeah.
So if he was charging, say, 100,000 cedis, as at the den, and he stays at 100,000 Ghana cedis, you, the corporate person, will not be compelled to pay a J Foley, a new artist, 100K. It won't happen. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
So it's important that the industry leaders and let us understand what the value is. We have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
You see, corporates would benefit from this level of mysticism and Charlie, I'm shy, I can't talk about it. But if you know very well that Wizkid charged $1 million for sponsorship deal with Samsung,
your next conversation will be guided.
And they come to you and you feel you are a tier 2 artist, you know exactly how much you're asking.
Yeah.
But in Ghana, you don't know.
Yeah.
So you see, and I feel that if you guys want to shape the culture, you also need to help some level of transparency happen. Yeah. The only way you move the needle is if people are clear in their minds what the needle is.
Yeah.
So maybe 50 Cent would sign a deal with Stars. I think that deal is off also.
Yeah.
Signs a deal with, and the number is there. We can say maybe it's a $150 million deal, ABCD. Why is that important? It's important because it helps move the needle up. But we're a little bit tight. It's part of the issue.
Lip tight.
Jesse.
So I
It's
wanted,
part of the issue.
Just for where you landed, right? It's exactly what I've been saying, that we are a bit tight because, for example, you are talking about being transparent, communicating these value points, so that corporate Ghana can pick up on it without any stress.
Yes.
Without
Not just corporate Ghana.
in general, so that it's out there. The value chain is there.
So Adikam.
Yeah.
So you finish a show and they would say, oh, and the Nigerian artists who came to Ghana, they were paid ABCD, and the Ghanaians were given peanuts. What was it?
What was the peanuts?
What was the peanut?
Yeah.
See, you have to force a conversation. So that when an APSA calls, say, a Foley, I need to use you a lot.
Are you allowed? I want him to call me.
To say, oh, we would love Foley to be the icon for the brand.
For this year, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, how much are we talking about? Foley says it's $500,000 or 500,000 CDs. Okay, great, we sign it. And then you celebrate it. Foley signs 500,000 CD deal with APSA Bank.
Amen.
Exactly. That's the point I was
Now,
going to.
when you're
We don't
done
do
with that,
PR.
yeah,
my 10% is in it.
We don't.
Last one.
No, flow.
So when it gets to my turn, as an individual,
Yeah.
and I say, oh, I'm a tier 3 artist coming behind Jay, and suddenly I have, say, one of my favorite banks, FNB, calls me. I say, I fully took this. I have X number of this. So that inspires generational conversation. But in the secrecy and the dark, somebody now goes sign 200,000. Then I sign 20,000 CDs. And I now find out that you sound 200,000 Ghana CDs. What do you think happens to my deal with you?
Yeah.
Then I'm pussyfooting. I don't want to give my all. Then I'm being some way, and boom. Then they will begin to say that the art doesn't respect contracts. It's because now things are coming to light. Open up. Let's celebrate it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay,
Lenny.
you made mention of a few personalities
Yes.
in the entire conversation, right? With the personalities being brands themselves, at which point do we draw a line? Because you mentioned a personality where we couldn't pinpoint which brand deal exactly that he has at the moment, right? At what point do brands become marketable? Personalities, celebrities, entertainers, yes. At what point, what makes them marketable or not?
So let's talk about shares. Let's talk about stocks or shares. There are businessmen who buy shares that are falling, hoping they will turn it around. There are those who buy shares when it's growing, small one, they can see it. And there are those who buy into major shares.
Stocks, yeah.
You decide what you want to do. In my view, you could have seen Kweku the Traveler way before he was beaten by rain on the stage. When he held a cutlass in his hand. It should be great for the corporates or somebody to say, I love the journey. Even though Johnny Walker has completed his journey and he's still walking, Kweku the Traveler and Johnny Walker might have a semblance. So let's build the next generation of walkers starting with him. He's traveling. Now, this is a simple conversation, right? The real question would be whether Kweku the Traveler as a brand fits the ethos of the Johnny Walker brand. But from a language and from an essence point of view, there's a connection.
There's a connection.
Yeah.
So you could have seen him miles away. There are people like him, you, who are seeing its arts grow a little bit. You're seeing the pages grow. And again, the first point I made was not on statistics or anything else. It was purely about love and seeing the wave around the artist. It was very obvious. Today, that boy should should be signing almost about 6 or 7 deals now. It should be the biggest act ever. Question is, why not? Again, he's the biggest act now. In my view, I love him to crazy. But how much investment are we getting behind? You just heard Bernard say some of the biggest investment the artists have gotten have come from corporates. In that same vein, he should be swimming by now as being an amazing person. So, look, in my view, I can tap into the nuance anytime. Whether there are small brands beginning to grow, in which case I can tap into it, or I'm watching their pages go disruptive, I can tap into it. Or they are saying things in their songs that appeal to my brand. I'll tap into
Let's
it.
move from the artist. I think if we position the artist as the hero of the creative art space, it changes the narrative a bit. So let me present a much more expensive space. Not to say that the rest are not expensive, but I'm talking about one that you take out a lot of money to pay a lot of people in the value chain to get a lot of things done. The movie industry.
Okay.
Now, the Ghana movie industry clearly is suffering. And, I mean, we are not seeing a lot of activity in that space as well. And we've blamed it heavily on the storylines that are shared, and we blamed it on the quality of actors and quality of technical crew and what they are filming. But their space is a very what's the word?
Handicapped.
It's money. You need a lot of money, because the last Spider-Man that they tried to do, the spider never manned. The spider never manned. You know, and you need software to get those top quality animations done.
That's why they're handicapped.
That's why they're handicapped. You know, and it's all a money conversation. And like we say, the point the last point you made, which I nearly disagreed with, where
go ahead.
The biggest spenders have been the corporate space on talent. Where I keep saying to myself, if a telco is bagging in $5 billion annually, or let's say every quarter, what is $100,000 or $300,000? It is nothing. It's peanuts. You understand? So even with that, I come back to you and I say, no, they're not the biggest spenders. They can really claim that title of biggest spenders when we feel what they are doing. If somebody's got $1 million to give to Chris Brown to perform, that investment could have come back into creating a masterpiece of a global citizen for Sarkodie, Shatawale, Samini, and co. You know, than one person taking it out of the country. I mean, that's another controversy for itself. But again, the movie industry, for example, it suffered a lot of backlash, and we've hit them hard. But let's go back to really looking at how to produce a quality movie. It will need money. I mean, hands down, the kind of people, the number of people you need on there is a lot of money. So again, when the MD is going home to sit back and watch and consume foreign movies and come back and downplay the local movie because it's not good, I mean, yes, you can't take the blame because it's not your objective to support the movie industry. But if you're signing deals for musicians, why can't we offer equal support to? And that's why it comes to the creativity and the mindset and the understanding of the marketing manager. I keep asking myself that. I mean, it's like it's just directed to one place, and the other creative spaces are dead. And there's poetry, there's the artists
performance
who are
arts,
doing carvings, and we're watching a number of white people come and foreigners come into the country buying recent Good Morning America when they were in Ghana recently. To shoot that documentary, to do a special on Good Morning America. They went to the Arts and Crafts Center. They stood at the Independence Square. They stood there to speak to the second, Her Excellency, the second lady of the land. They stood there. That was somebody's design. That thing that we appreciate today, somebody's design. It was somebody's investment. Maybe Ghana's investment at that time, fine, fair enough. But when people come, you want to host them at nice places. And these nice places are as a result of the creative arts thinking. So why isn't there a deliberate effort that as a bank or as a telco or as a beverage company, as part of our CSR, we want to support, yes, a Meister walked in and let him break the protocol and let him walk in. But as part of our CSR projects, yes, we want to help an underprivileged person to go to school and become a better person. The creative arts space in Ghana, the movie industry is suffering. We want to make a deliberate change in there, fund them, present beautiful, amazing stories. Because recently, sorry, I'm talking too much, but beautiful, amazing stories.
It's fine. I'll talk small.
Juliet Asante, in partnership with the presidency, started this film pitch series, and people shared amazing stories. Now, I mean, it's just gone blank.
Okay.
What is happening? Isn't there any corporate body watching television to identify that there's a gap in the movie industry? And that's my question. Isn't anybody watching?
Do you want to answer?
Yes, I want answers.
Oh, you should.
Meister, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Please put a
I like the switch from Zoom to Zoom.
I know, it's so interesting.
I have to speak on behalf of the corporate body, so pardon my rant.
It's fine.
I mean, on behalf of the talent, so pardon my rant.
I don't know how far you guys have gone in the conversation, but
the movie industry, that's where we are at.
we've moved from entertainment. But what I was saying online was...
Yes, please take us back.
I mean, Cyril will know. The reason why all these artists and like musicians or entertainment people are rich, or we call them millionaires, like the Shaqs, the Jay-Z, the Kanye West.
50s.
It's all because of corporate money. So even if that's not the corporate body's core, because the corporate body's core focus is their business, they're trying to make revenue. And if they're supposed to do any CSR, most of the time it's fits in line with maybe SDGs, something sustainable and stuff. They're not there for entertainment. But music entertainment is a soft approach to communicate with people. I don't know if you remember Fiesta, She Wants More. Remember when they did that whole Sarkodie thing? It was to push Fiesta condoms, you know that? Yeah. Now that's an easy way to get people to remember it. And I mean, Jesse like mentioned what he was doing in Tigo and like gave really good context to that. The corporate bodies need the music to reach their audience. You get what I mean? And at the end of the day, the entertainment industry that you feel is neglected, the people that are like rich or big in that space are big because of corporate money. Luckily, I'll be able to sit on both ends as a brand person working in corporate, and also as an artist manager when I used to work with Mr. Easy. So I know that when we wake up every morning and we are doing this music, so that one day some corporate body will endorse us, some corporate body will put us on a show, some corporate body will give us a big check. The streams keep you going. They just keep you going. And even the streams, we try and amass streams so that we can use those streams to go and pitch to labels who are corporate bodies to give us money. Do you understand what I mean? So if a brand is even working with a label to work with an artist or endorse an artist, they're looking at streams. So all the work we do is still, at the end of the day, the corporate bodies are the one going to put food in our mouth. But when you say things like, oh, why are they doing their own shows? That show that maybe Tigo Unplugged is doing, you're paying, how do they call it, set designers. You're paying people who are going to
run the commercial,
the screens. You're paying the artists.
Paying him as a voiceover artist.
You're paying you as a voiceover artist. So at the end of the day,
shots fired.
They have created a platform that the entertainment bodies are going to eat from. You understand? You get what I mean? If they're doing an ad and they're going to endorse an artist, fine, it's to their benefit. But at the end of the day, it's still putting food in the mouths of the.
Let me not say.
Now let's jump to your movie.
I have a question for Meister.
Corporate bodies have acquired their own stage sound lights, so let's even put that one aside.
I have a question
they have now gone to acquire their own property and they are now doing their own thing.
Ask why.
They have in their
That's another question to ask
they will
why.
tell you that it saves cost and all that.
I have a question. Maybe Jesse will pitch in, but for Meister.
Yeah.
Beautifully said, right? But I'm still playing devil's advocate and saying that the creatives need to do more with regards to setting up themselves in such a way that the connection can easily be made from the corporate side. Because like you rightly said, corporate has this core mandate to deliver a product or service. That is what corporate is set up for. That's what they are day-to-day.
Cyril, I would disagree.
Oh, let me
share points with you why I strongly disagree.
No problem.
And I'll give you a practical example.
Do you think? I don't think it, right?
Yes.
But maybe I'm wrong. So I want to be wrong on air.
Yeah.
Do you think, in general, that artists position themselves well enough to make these connections and these partnerships feasible?
I think globally.
Sorry, I was nearly answered the question.
Bring it home.
Home.
Bring it home.
The standard is very low. The standard is on the floor. I'm standing on the standard right now.
The standard of the
no. So
you mean the creative arts?
The creative arts business.
I get proposals every day. I'm sure if I check my mail, there's a proposal from a music artist or something, and a lot of them just send you a proposal and say, sponsor me, or we have this thing we are doing, sponsor me. They don't basically create the sponsorship in a way that or they don't identify, you just come to a bank or Twitter and say, oh, sponsor, give us money, give us money. That's normally what you hear. But tell me what you can do for me, and how me giving you money will benefit me. Do you understand what I mean? So maybe you have this project that you're doing, or this album you're about to release, and you say, oh, my artist is going to do this for you, going to do this for you, you're going to get this number of downloads, you're going to get these people on the platform or something, or maybe if it's a bank, you're going to get these people to open accounts and stuff if the artist does this. That is a clear way of writing a proposal. Sometimes they just send you a document, which, or no, if sometimes no document at all, and they just send you an email that, hey, we are doing this and we want you to give us some money. Yeah, or WhatsApp. Like, Charlie sponsor me. Even yesterday, I was at was it the Emmys? When I was leaving, someone prominent came up to me and like, Charlie, what's up, Charlie? We did come out with this thing, Charlie, people will give you some cash. I said, send me a document. We don't get any document like that, but he was just trying to so I just okay, tomorrow come for $1 million. You get what I mean? So they don't basically position themselves. So I get proposals every day, and I mean, I'm sure Jesse has been in that seat before.
Please let me because I want to amass all my talents and let them stand behind me on this.
The entitlement is serious.
We will not mix those who are ignorant of how it's done with those who are doing it and
no, but why as a corporate person, why won't I want to partner?
I'm saying the corporate bodies have worked through structures to build their corporate whatever aura around them, so we give it to them.
Apart from the fact that maybe the proposal
say that assume to say who's my friend, I can mention his name and use him as a scapegoat in this.
MC Foley.
Lenny meeting you at Emmys and throwing this. You use Lenny's judgments to say that the talents are not presenting it right.
Apart from
because I'm coming with an example, a hard example, and let me since we are being all.
Where did you send your proposal? Because the guy is taking it personal.
So we identified a space, and I'm using this and I like us to create practical examples of these engagements. So we identified a space with tourism, for example, and the space was entertaining tourism. Okay, or entertainment tourism. Okay. So not to look at it as an educative, stand at the fort and tell you the history of the fort, but let us live the experience of even how we get there to these places. The language in there, we were saying to ourselves at that time when we were filming, we said to ourselves, you know what, let us change the language and use very youthful per se, let me just say in quotes, youthful language, jargons, so that our audience, the ones we are targeting, can understand this tourism and appreciate Ghanaian tourism in a different light. So we started this program called Sky Marshals. We filmed 35 amazing locations in this country. We risked our lives. I faced snakes, antelopes, scorpions, bees, you name them. Days and nights. There were moments when I came back home and my wife would call me and tell me that, please remember you have kids, so now this thing you are doing for your country, are you going to? Will you be rewarded afterwards? And it was a very deep question she asked. So after filming, then we started the engagement, packaging it. Then the engagement started per procedure, where you create value for the clients you're going to meet, insurance companies. And I tell you, and I'm standing on ground to tell you today, that I had one insurance company marketing manageress, I can say that. Look at me in the eye. I'll have to take a look, and then I'll speak to our team, but I'll get back to you. And the demeanor with which she was even speaking to me clearly made me understand that the person sitting there, one, doesn't even fully understand the opportunity around insurance with a television content generated program that has managed to win the hearts of, I didn't have data to tell you audience share, but clearly there was something different about what we were doing. But the person is even blinded. So I come back to the quality of the managers who are even sitting there on doing their role. Because most of them who are doing those jobs, they are there with they also got a job through a friend who knows.
Shots fired.
So we need to understand that look, the talent has created a monster. But I come again to the corporate bodies that they have not been able to identify opportunity. So they will give us, and let me throw a shade to Jesse. They will give us the language of, I have a lot of things before me and I have to identify the one that would give me the best. But you see, for us to become the force of this country, and as I'm sitting here, the president's words, I quote verbatim, at the Global Festival, if we have the video, we can play it, clearly acknowledge the power of indirectly, of entertainment. Over probably 6 million people were watching Ghana. watching Asha, Sarkodie, Thames,
Caesar,
perform.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Look at the conversation that is created as equal as Galamsey. But yet still, what is happening?
So
Okay, so
no, you go.
I know.
Should we go?
We
First of all, you
have-
said the president said the power board.
we have 11
The power
minutes
board. The power board entertainment.
indirectly.
So I would say it's the power of technology to create a platform to build reach, right?
Yes.
Anything could have ridden
I
on
see why
that.
this is good.
It could have been entertainment, it could have been politics, it could have been anything. It could
Yeah.
have been nice man here standing there and giving a motivational speech to some people in Harvard. 2, you sat down and you thought about the sky, something that you were doing. It's number 1 on your plate. Do you think the corporate person owes you that? The answer is no. Let me finish.
Okay,
Let me finish.
I was going to answer it.
He doesn't owe you that.
Yeah, it doesn't owe me that.
So the CEO goes into the office thinking of his own priorities. His top priorities are 20. In ranking the entire priorities of the business, you are 1,017. It's not his responsibility to reprioritize his priorities to put you on second.
thank
But
you.
it is nice to
No,
give
hold on. Yeah.
Oh, Jay, let
to,
him
to
land.
donate a
Oh,
vehicle
Jay.
to women to strut half naked on stage.
Well, I haven't seen that.
That-
so
I mean, I feel we are lost with the.
Joe, you ask me the question.
Yes, I asked the question.
When you meet the lady who
I'm
couldn't speak,
becoming
you can
naked.
say these things to her. But I'm just saying, it's me that you ask the question to. I'm saying that 3 Music has a
Yeah.
priority. If I walked in here today and I said, I want to see Jama as entertainment for tomorrow's content, would you agree?
It depends on how I want to go
Good.
about it.
You now give me a caveat.
Yes, yeah, and I'm.
But for the
accepting
Jama Shia, that's priority for him.
it. Yeah.
You won't say yes. You probably will go and speak to your CEO and they will say, why Jama? That English language is the options available in making a decision. Now, why do you think you make that decision? You make it because the essence of the things you do is not the people who are doing it. It's for who? The consumer. And if Jama makes sense to the consumer, you will do it. The proposal he is waiting for from the guys, if it makes sense to the Twitter consumers, he would say yes. So it's not about your emotions.
Yes.
Great content. Number 2,
Yeah.
it's possible you also went to the wrong business.
Went to a lot of businesses.
No. This
the
woman.
wrong
I cited
decision
one.
maker.
You went to the wrong decision. You went to the wrong business, or you went to the wrong decision maker. That's why I like MTN. On MTN's website, they write to you the things they sponsor. So when you see it, you know you don't have to even go there with Jama Shias. That's an example. I know we don't have time, so I just want to touch on the movie industry a little bit. You said the CEO goes home to go and watch foreign music. I don't think so. I think he goes home to relax. The essence is to relax. Again, consumer journey. When he gets home, he looks for options to relax. Let's understand the way the consumer's mindset works. Either he is with his wife or his girlfriend, or he's taking a long shower, or he's having a glass of wine, or he's on Twitter enjoying himself, or he's watching a movie, or he's listening to music. But even in terms of movies, he picks a remote control today, and you press the apps. What's available for you? HBO, Netflix,
Amazon Prime.
Hulu or whatever, Amazon Prime. So he has options available to him. To watch a Ghanaian movie, where does he go to? I'm asking you. Where does he go to? I'm holding the remote now.
Aquaba Magic.
I was going to.
You had to-
You have to think about
No. I was
Netflix
going to
as
mention
well.
brands, but I just went
see,
on pause for a second.
Again,
I get
see,
it.
I'm not saying it's not there. It's there,
Yeah.
but I'm saying that even for you, top of mind, it's not there. Jay, so it has. Don't blame the CEO for going home looking for options. Finally, because we have options, we're seeing quality and an elevation in craft. To your point, it puts pressure on the locals to up their ante in terms of investment, which means that there might be a point where we need to help the industry grow. And I agree with you that the only way we can now catch up is to create a safety net where some individuals say we are willing to invest $1 million. Let's say Twitter says that next year they want to set aside a seed funding of $1 million to help projects like yours to be amplified or to help the movie industry. There are businesses doing that. We have to find them. Because not everybody can catch up now, especially now that the movie industry is like here and here. We have to create a net to let things happen. Government says that they released 10 million Ghana cedis last three months or so through some fund for the arts. Did you guys apply?
I have. I'm waiting for feedback.
Precisely.
Hopefully.
So spend time on this program telling people to chase that money. And when they get it, they should not go to Kempinski to go and buy new Sean John or Jay Foley hats.
I think our talents don't do all of that. But I mean,
but that's the money.
I want to answer. Before we wrap up, for your movie thing, I have 30 seconds, right? Another thing is that, again, me and the creatives, America's Hollywood, right, was built on cigarettes. Marlboro funded most of the black and white movies. That's why you see them smoking. Ford funded Hollywood, right? Chevy, GMC, ExxonMobil funded Hollywood until Hollywood got to the point where it was so financially stable that they can start making movies about space and aliens without any brand placement or marketability to it. We are writing stories where the brand does not see where to plug in. Iron Man. Listen, Iron Man's character, Robert Downey Jr.'s salary, a third of it is paid by Audi because he uses Audi and endorses Audi indirectly in the movie. The same way James Bond uses Aston Martin, use the BMW. They are writing stories that the corporate person can see how to make it marketable.
We are writing stories that are not getting the chance to get to that main.
I am sorry, but I have seen a lot of Ghanaian movies. I know a lot of Ghanaian movie makers, and I am not seeing stories. Where does corporate latch in? Listen to what I'm saying. I am saying that somebody is writing Iron Man, and they are making sure that they are writing Robert Downey Jr.'s character so that Audi can plug in directly. Right? They are writing James Bond so that they can plug in everything from Martini to tuxedos to Aston Martins. We are not writing movies on that level. We are writing movies where the story is the focus, and then we try and sell this generic fantasy story to a corporate body who cannot see where exactly in your 90 minutes I can plug my brand.
With what you are saying,
I just want to ask you a question.
With what you are saying, is that to say that when the stories are being written, we should write it with a brand in mind?
Yes.
Because I'm also thinking,
that is wrong.
Yeah.
No, it is not wrong.
Hold on, because the stories.
Do you know what a screenwriter is?
Because the stories can be done, and then you still create the movies, and then you push to a brand, right or wrong?
No, I agree that the story needs to be authentic, and then you find a way to plug in the brand to pitch. Like, for example, I receive proposals, and you can tell that person that sent that proposal, that blanket proposal to about like 10 brands, the same thing. But for example, if you're sending something to a drink company, you need to tweak the proposal so that it fits what the beverage company wants. If it's going to an insurance company, you tweak it so that it fits with that. You don't send one proposal and then expect it. So fine, create an authentic story and then find a way to tweak it to say, in the scenario that you sponsor, you have access to do this in my story. Yeah. Now, also, I wanted to ask about Sky Marshall's thing. Did you build an audience watching that thing already, or it was a pilot that you sent to the corporate?
No, sorry, I don't get the question. I want to get it right.
So you shot a couple of episodes. Were people watching that thing online already? Was there like a teaming audience?
Yeah. There was an audience.
Or you just said, "Hey, this is what we've shot. We want you to come with us."
There was an audience. We started running, and before we started really chasing, and then I'll tell you. You see, let me give you more stories about that. For example,
you have 2 minutes though.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Jesse's hosting the show.
One of the stories we met, not the film. One of the things that happened. So we met this foreign global head of, country head of one of the companies. And this man, he was foreigner. He gave me his card and says, "Look, I love this. Let's have a conversation around it. Come to my house. Call me on Monday." Before he left, he said, "Oops, you know what? I'm traveling." So he pulled his local Ghanaian manager. This is a big car company, and said, "Please, talk to this man in my absence.
Ouch.
Talk to him."
Ouch.
That was it.
Ouch.
I called the man on Monday. I'll let the marketing guy call you. The marketing guy called.
Yeah,
I called him, and then another story over and over again.
You
So
kept
it
the
came
conversation at the
to do they understand the opportunity? Marlboro must have seen an opportunity in the platform or the environment that Hollywood had created.
Do you know why they saw the opportunity?
Well,
they saw the
actually-
opportunity because
We
the
cannot-
creative
we cannot
created a
blame
character that
the
they could
talent.
latch onto.
No,
Listen,
but we
if
cannot blame-
Cowboys,
the talent
if you
is
watch
raw
very,
talent.
listen,
You
Jay,
said Ibrahim Mahama had just picked up a boy who had created something. He has identified raw talent and he's investing in the raw talent.
Jay, it's a
as
chicken
somebody
and
that
egg scenario.
appreciates
Mahama is
the
a
value.
decision maker.
It's a
And he
chicken
can
and egg
decide
scenario.
to move away from the core priorities and find a way to still come back to
Yes.
it. That Ghana manager that they gave you to, for he comes off a meeting.
Ask him whether the investment was from engineers and planners or Ibrahim Mahama.
That's a good question.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's his person.
It's personal.
We'll check it. We'll confirm that.
That marketing manager might have comes out from meetings every day with them asking him for specific targets, and you are coming to give him your Sky Marshals thing, which he doesn't see. Like it's like every day they ask each other, you bring the 1,000 people onto the network.
What
Like
the KPI?
he has KPIs. He doesn't have time to now try and figure out how he can use Sky Marshals. And maybe he doesn't want to even go and present that to his boss. Like, you get what I mean? Because that is basically not priority.
Or there are options.
Yeah, so
Toolkit.
you just need to speak to the right
This
people.
conversation must continue.
The decision
because
makers are the
we
important
have
people.
to. I'd find out if we can reorganize this conversation to a part two, because we have to find solutions to this and find the middle ground on how there must be an intentional support from, and that's what I feel. There should be an intentional support from corporate Ghana to focus hard on the creative arts, because the creative art offers a lot of value. A lot of value. Guys, are we available tomorrow? Because we have to consume this one. We must make it happen. We must find out. I mean, we have given. I think
The
that
guy won't reprioritize on
the economic challenges. Yes, the country might go through. Might give everybody a challenge with spend on monies and everything. But
I'm not in town tomorrow, unfortunately. I'm not in town.
Okay, no problem.
He's traveling this afternoon.
We'll
No, this
find-
around
we'll
4,
find
yes.
How can we in 10 seconds? How can a creative talent plug into Free Zones board? Where are you coming from? You know, to tap into any form of support.
First of all, the creative must know that it's not a board, it's an authority.
I mean,
So it's
an
a
authority, sorry.
Free Zones authority. I'm sorry, I was just getting it. So
Yeah.
first, before you do the proposal, I believe in having a casual conversation. Before you go to Twitter with a proposal, meet with Bernard. Say, Bernard, these are my ideas. Share your thoughts with him, general, and tell him you're putting a paper together. Get guidance before you apply for anything. Don't do generic. I believe in casual conversations.
First.
Can I have 2 minutes of your time? I'm working on this idea to move black to green. And I feel this is how your business can tap into it. I've seen that your business focuses on color changes a lot of time. You've done A, B, C, D. Mine will be different. So what are your initial thoughts? You might say, oh, a cool idea, but you know we did A, B, C, D. Then rehash your proposal based on that. Don't walk around with a PDF. Have a call card and have a casual conversation.
Then it's past a minute from 10 o'clock. 30
Yeah,
seconds
I mean,
and wrap us
so
up.
when it comes to Twitter, we are very big on conversations. So anything that drives high conversation, if you come to me and this is the thing, people think, oh, we're just doling out money to people. No, Twitter just does amplification. The conversations are already happening on the platform regardless, whether we even get involved or not.
Yeah.
So we only give you tools for you to take it from like A to Z. You get what I mean? So we'll ask you, are you doing a Twitter space? Or what are the things you're doing on Twitter? If you're doing a Twitter space, we'll boost it. If you are doing an album rollout, we'll give you a hash emoji so people can use the hashtag. So we'll give you things to amplify it. So all those who come to me and say, oh, we want money for this, that's just not how it's just amplification to help something that you're already doing on the platform. Yeah.
Guys, thank you so very much. Lenny, Cyril, how do you wrap this up? I mean, it's been a great conversation. There's more that I want to, talk about, but unfortunately our time is up. We have to go now. And we're back again same time tomorrow on Culture Daily, 7 to 10 a.m. We're here. Thanks for listening to us via Plus 89.9 FM, as well as live on your TV here at 3 Music. My name is Jay Foley. Well, some call me Foley, others call me Jay Foley, others call me Hey
Jay.
Thank you very much. You see, I'm going to sell this hashtag to Twitter. And we'll have a conversation around it. Cyril.
You've already gone wrong trying to sell the hashtag.